So we start by giving respect, and I start by pouring water, because I said libation. And so we're pouring fresh water. We start by giving respect and thanks to the Most High Creator of us all, as I just said, known by many names in the African diaspora. Oludumare, Inyame, Shinike, Jehovah, Yahweh, so many names, Jah, Allah. And so forgive me if I can't name everything, but you put the name in you need. So we give thanks that we can be here, that we are here. We are human, we are free to commemorate this 20th year post-Katrina, to recognize and honor the lives of those who died during and in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, for honoring those who fought to keep the Lower Nine as a meaningful and viable part of the city of New Orleans, for those who came together and organized across the city and the 3 states, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and for the New Orleans Katrina Memorial Foundation. We thank them for putting on this effort, which we're at right now, for the rally and for the national moment of silence that will come soon. We thank God as the owner of the day. That means that which woke us up this morning and got us here. Can you say with me, Ibashe? Asheo, thank you. We pay homage and respect to our beloved ancestors on whose shoulders we stand, for their endurance. Lord knows we had to endure. For their perseverance, their nurturing love, their protection, and their wisdom. For showing us how to make a way out of no way and to never give up. For the various ways they fought against and resisted the inhumanities and indignities that we suffered during our long history in this land, and even more so up until today. So for instilling us with hope, with faith, with trust, and knowing that we can and we will prevail. Do I get an amen, a hallelujah, or something? Yes. So we show respect to our beloved ancestors by calling their names. And so in this moment, or these next few moments, please lift up the name of the ancestor you wish to be remembered, to be honored and respected. And I pour water to the earth as you do that. And I'll start with my own parents, Roy and Mary Kane. Ashe. Ashe. Asheo. Yes. Yes. Ashe. Come on, everybody, you don't have to wait. Say it. Ashe. Thomas Sankara. Asheo. Yes. Mr. Ben, my neighbor back in the day. Ashe. Ashe. Asheo. Kwame and Nkrumah. Africa for Africans. Ashe. 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 So there are many. You can hear the many names that are being called. When we call them, they will come. They will come and they will join us today in this effort. And so I want to say what the Holy Spirit put on my heart to say, especially, and I won't take much longer. It looks like I got papers because I'm 76 and I don't remember everything all the time. Okay. So may our beloved ancestors forever encourage, inspire, and guide us. May the lives they lived and the sacrifices they made be a call to action. Let this moment be a call to action for each of us to continue and build on their personal and collective work in big ways and small ways. So I want to say, may we be kind. We need to be a little more kinder, patient, and gentle with each other. We need to take more time to learn about our history and know who we are and whose we are. A lot of the criminal behavior in the Washington area, y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of that comes from our not knowing, our ignorance. We can make a difference by knowing. May the children everywhere, be safe and free of harm and danger. May they be well fed and full of joy. I say, yes. May we ask, what, now this is for each of us, what in my community needs fixing or working with? What part can I play to help do that? Look for those others who are doing the same and come together. In moments of challenge and struggle, because I know y'all having hard times, I'm so-called trained to be able to manage this, and I know I'm having hard times. But in those hard times, sometimes, just stop and take a breath. Because we got to decide, we have to decide to be well and to be whole and sane. Thank you. May we have the courage to no longer accept the things we think. Listen, Angela Davis said this. We don't always hear this part. May we have the courage to no longer accept the things we think we cannot change and begin to change the things we cannot accept.
Amen.
You heard that? Yeah. May we aspire to leave this world better and more beautiful than we found it, for the good of all. All right? And I know I'm being asked to go, but I can say, I done said this already. All y'all got to do is say, hallelujah, amen, ashe, alhamdulillah, yes.
Let me grab you, please, this way.
That's not my, okay. But I had a time. Okay.
We thank Apostle Lawrence and Mama Nana. We will now have Liz Halstead, Managing Director of Hip Hop Caucus, followed by a 60-second moment of silence.
Good morning. I'm Liz Halstead, Managing Director of Hip Hop Caucus. Hip Hop Caucus is a power-building organization working for social, climate, and economic justice. And every year, Hip Hop Caucus has stood with Katrina Commemoration Foundation for this commemoration of Hurricane Katrina. First and foremost, we do this to remember and honor those we lost and the immeasurable ways people's lives have been impacted by Hurricane Katrina and our nation's unjust response. Every year we have called for August 29th to be a national holiday of remembrance, and we are so proud that this year the city of New Orleans has declared August 29th a citywide holiday. Every year we call for a just transition off of fossil fuels and petrochemicals because they are the perpetrators of this climate crisis that is causing these extreme hurricanes and disasters. And every year we call for a free and fair democracy. Today, our democracy is anything but free and fair. It's under attack by this administration as they march us towards authoritarianism. But if we need an example to look at as to what a failed democracy is, to understand what's at stake today, we only need to look to 20 years ago in Hurricane Katrina. 20 years ago, this country broke its own laws in regard to our government's obligation to house and protect those who have been displaced by a disaster. 20 years ago, this country criminalized people for trying to survive after being left behind. In the weeks and years following Katrina, public institutions shut down and were privatized. Rebuilding prioritized profit over people. Today, we remember by standing on this hallowed ground under the beauty of this mural, and in doing so, we are reminding our nation of the bad done in our names 20 years ago, but we are also showing what it looks like to come together to build the good in community. We are here in spite of the bad, and because of the good of the people, the culture, the past, the present, and the future of this beautiful place called New Orleans. Thank you for coming out today and standing for the good. And now we will have a 60-second global moment of silence in remembrance of those we lost 20 years ago.
We'll have Pastor Fred Luter do the moment of silence.
All over the world, in about 1 minute, we're going to have a moment of silence because of Hurricane Katrina 20 years ago. So this is not only happening here on this levee, the cafe on Jordan Avenue in Galveston, but all over the world we'll have a moment of silence to remember those who lost their lives, but also to remember all that we've been through and the resilience that we have. So I ask that you would bow your heads and that no one would talk for the next minute for this moment of silence. Thank you so very much for your obedience as we remember all of those who lost their lives. Remember what this city, particularly this Lower Ninth Ward, went through 20 years ago. God bless you.
And now we'll hear from the Congo kids.
Good morning and welcome. We have two parts to this presentation. Reverend Luter just referred to a moment of silence. We have a plague doctor installation. She's sitting over here. She will give you silence throughout this presentation. She has appeared in about 6 or 7 different states, bringing our message in silent participation. So you will see Queen Reese sitting and silent. The Congo kids have the message for us, starting with Wade in the Water, and we invite everyone to sing along with them. It is in honor of those people who walked these streets, wading into the water, looking for safety. On children like these standing before you to bring kindness into the future. We ask that you join them in singing 2 verses of This Little Light of Mine. Smith is going to lead the song, and our children are joining, and we're going to ask you to join. So listen carefully to the 3 lines in this song. They will talk about those people who were brought to this country against their will, and we are the people who represent them. She will talk about the children who are here now and about them in their future with the special song, We Are the Children.
We are the children of the ones who did not die. We are the children of the people who could fly. And we are the children of the ones who persevere. We are fearless, we are strong, and we're ready to carry on. We are the children
of shallow water.
One more round of applause for the Congo Queen. Next, we will have Grammy-nominated singer, artist, and Climate Revival CEO and co-founder N18G Smith, followed by Dr. Tracy Washington.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Hip Hop Caucus, and thank you, CES45, for having me. I was heartbroken 20 years ago in New Jersey watching the devastation unfold here. And I was even more heartbroken over time as I heard the horrific atrocities that were done to the beautiful and resilient people of New Orleans. I'm honored to be here today because it's important that the world never forgets what happened here. And it's also important for the world to remember that we are in the midst of a climate crisis, the same crisis that caused Hurricane Katrina. It's honestly all a lack of love. All the problems that we're facing in this world is from a lack of love. If we loved each other and if we loved this planet, then we wouldn't be in the midst of a climate crisis and profits wouldn't be more important than people. So in the spirit of love, I'm going to sing a little bit of my song for you, Love Song to the Earth. This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. 'Cause it's our world. 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 This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. 'Cause it's our world. I love y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, N18G. Next, we will have Dr. Tracy Washington from Louisiana Justice Institute, followed by Young Sino, artist and co-founder of Katrina Commemoration.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Washington. Let me say something. I'm a lawyer as well as Dr. Tracy Washington. Asking a lawyer to keep anything to 2 minutes is like asking Council Member Eugene Green. Try. We stand here today at this breach where 20 years ago our city, our families, our neighbors suffered a wound so deep that it still aches. We remember the lives lost. We remember the mothers searching for children, the elders trapped in the heat, the families who had to flee and never made it home, never made it home. We remember the survivors who came back to nothing but water and rubble and yet still said, This is my home. I will rebuild. 20 years ago, right here, the levees broke. But let's tell the truth. The water didn't kill us. Government neglect killed us. They left us stranded, folks. They left us stranded. They left us to die. And we will never forget it. Say it with me. We'll never forget it. We'll never forget it. We lost mothers. We lost fathers. We lost children. We lost whole neighborhoods. But look at us. Look at us. We're still here. Somebody say we're still here. We're still here. We came back. We rebuilt. We fought in the courts. Amen. But we fought in the streets. We demanded to be treated as human beings, as citizens, as children of God. And we will keep demanding until justice roars like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Amen. Now hear me today. The same government that failed us then is trying to fail us again by dismantling FEMA. FEMA ain't perfect, but FEMA is a lifeline. If they strip it away, then when the storm comes, when there is James Baldwin, the fire and the floods next time, it won't just be New Orleans left behind. It will be every community, every family, every survivor. So we stand here today, not just in memory, but in, here we go, Tracy Washington, defiance. We demand justice for the past. We demand protection for the future. We demand FEMA be saved and strengthened, not dismantled, not destroyed. Because the people of New Orleans are not resilient. Don't say it. People are conditioned to be resilient. You don't have to be resilient. But we are unbreakable. The people of New Orleans will never be silent. We are here. We're still fighting. And we will never, ever be forgotten. Say it with me. We're here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here.
There's no need for introduction. The ancestors said I could talk, my brother. How y'all doing? My name is Demetrius Warren. Some people know me as Sino, Young Sino. How y'all feeling out there? Let's make some noise! Today is a celebration. Today is the ultimate commemoration. Right here, right now. Y'all make some noise right now. Let's go! Real quick, I'm a young man of a lot of passion. Please don't misconstrue my passion for emotion. I'm going to say some things today that you might not never hear from a man. I'm also going to ask commitments. If y'all listening out there in the back, I'm going to talk to all men today. I'm talking especially to black men today, because nobody cared about black men, and nobody's been caring about black men since the last 55 years. Today is the day that we're going to honor black men today, because when the storm came, there was nobody else to count on except the black man. Do y'all hear me? It was black men that went got them boats and went saved them people. Not them police, not the army, not your government. It was black men. It was black men who did it. Today we're going to celebrate our people's life, and we're going to celebrate black men today. Because I've been living 41 years. And for 41 years, I've been hearing about the degradation and the deplitude of black men, and black men ain't this, and the black men ain't that, and the black man ain't shit, and the black man ain't this. But when a disaster or a strike or anything come about, when it's about our people, guess who they go to? They go to the black man. Guess what the Arabic people tell their children? Guess what the Arabic people tell their children? If you ever in trouble, look for a black man or a black woman. Don't misconstrue my passion for emotion. Today, we are going to honor the lives of our people, and I'll be damned if we don't honor the lives of black men today. Because you know why? You see how I talk with this passion? You're looking at one that's willing to die about it. No, I don't have to get on no city council. I stand right here and die in front of every last one of y'all. And I do it for you. I die for you. That's what the passion, that's what the human element is. We are missing the human element of life. We are forgetting these evil people got the stranglehold so bad. Let me tell you how bad the stranglehold is. I'm one of the national organizers for this event. I try to drive down here and come in and tell our beautiful police officers I am one of the organizers for this event. Could you please let me through? I have a big ass trailer with some porta potties on it. What am I going to be doing illegally with some porta potties on the trailer for you to just let me pass and put the porta potties down so the people could piss in peace? Can the people piss in peace? Not only that, when I dropped the trailer, when I made the block, dropped the trailer, and go talk to our beautiful lieutenant over there. Hey, Lieutenant. Instead of Lieutenant telling the truth, he would rather lie and talk about other porta potty people coming out here to try to swindle people to make them pay for porta potties. Really? Really? Today, God is the greatest, man.
Thank you, Young Sino. And a reminder for you all that don't know, Young Sino and his brother Ses45 started this annual Katrina commemoration 19 years ago. The first one was August 2006. It is the largest community-led commemoration that this city has, and it also brings about the largest second line. So thank you, Young Sino. Next, we will have Ms. Janita Seals, followed by Dawn Richard.
Hi, my people. Good afternoon. 20 years ago, Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans with a force that changed our lives forever. We lost homes, loved ones, and piece of our city we thought would never return. But in the middle of the destruction, we discovered something stronger. Neighbors rescuing neighbors, strangers helping strangers, and through it all, it shook our foundation, but it could not destroy our spirit. We rebuilt, we healed, and we created a legacy of strength that has carried forward nearly a century. Today we honor those we lost, celebrate the courage we found, and remind the world that no stone, no matter how great, can break the soul of New Orleans. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have award-winning artivist, in New Orleans' very own Dawn Richard.
Thank you, Brittany. I'm gonna be fast, y'all. This is beautiful to see. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the caucus, for being an educator and me learning about, as an artist, sometimes we do our art, we pour through our art, but we don't know about our own communities. And so you reach out to your people, and the Hip Hop Caucus has been a haven for me to learn about what's really going on in my community. But I want to talk about, really fast, I'm so grateful to the mural that has been put on this levee. And shout out to B Mike and Studio B and Eternal Seeds. And when I think, I love y'all. I love Eternal Seeds. And what it made me think about is seeds in general. We are a community deeply rooted. Our soil and our ancestral stories are deep, rooted deep. I love that this looks beautiful today, but my hope for this, my call to you is that this isn't a moment where it's 20 years or 30 years where you all decide to come back and air this and it looks like this, because the year 1, 2, or 3, or 4, there's not a lot of people that come. And we are a local community fighting this fight with like 8, 9, 10, right? My hope to you is that, thank you so much for coming, but I would encourage you to really lean into the name Eternal Seeds. Lean into the young people who are painting the stories that some of them haven't even experienced Katrina, but they have affected so much so that they painted their art and talked about what they felt from the stories that were told to them. I ask you to pour into your seeds. If you love this city, if you're coming here now and viewing this, we are the seeds that need work. A plant or a flower can't succeed or thrive coming once every 20 years, once every 5 years, every 10 years. We need daily pouring, daily sunlight, daily goodness, daily attention. So I encourage you to pour into this community, your local businesses, your local artists, your people here living on the Ninth Ward who decided to come home and pour into their own communities when there's a house every other, when the grass isn't cut, when the potholes are still potholing. I want y'all to pour into this community. So I ask that you treat your seeds with care. Treat this community with care and treat our stories with care. Pour into our people so that we can continue to grow as a community. That's what I care about. So thank you all so much. Go home, go back to your places and show and pour so that we can be a community that doesn't look like it has been hit yesterday, but it has grown since 20 years from now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. If there is a medic, we do have an emergency situation. Okay, great. Now we will have former U.S. Vice President and founder of the Climate Reality Project, Mr. Al Gore, followed by Councilmember Oliver Thomas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have been invited to join all of you for this event. I don't live here. I'm among the millions of people in the country and around the world who love New Orleans. And I came here to the Lower Ninth in the immediate aftermath of Katrina. And I want to acknowledge those who have made this event possible. Reverend Lennox Yearwood and the Hip Hop Caucus. You'll hear from Reverend Yearwood in a minute. The New Orleans Katrina Commemoration Foundation, CES45 and CNO. CNO, I heard you. We heard you. Thank you. The people of New Orleans, and particularly the people of the Lower Ninth Ward, Congressman Troy Carter and Councilman Oliver Thomas and Dr. Leona Tate and other distinguished guests and the many speakers and performers here. I've only got 3 minutes. There's a lot I would like to say, but I want to say, first of all, a word of condolences to all those who lost loved ones, those who lost property, those who suffered during and after Katrina. And I want to echo what a couple of other speakers have already said. Let's don't lose the connection between Hurricane Katrina and the climate crisis, which is still getting worse. And they're not doing anything meaningful about it. Thank goodness they've had some improvements in the infrastructure that failed that day 21 years ago, but they are now tearing apart FEMA after they improved it and fixed some of the terrible mistakes made 20 years ago. Now they're tearing it apart again. And the causes of the climate crisis are still continuing to get worse. It is a fossil fuel crisis, and I know it's tricky and delicate to talk about the fossil fuel industry here in Louisiana. I understand that. But more than 80% of the cause of this climate crisis is the burning of fossil fuels. And we have substitutes for them now that are better and cheaper and cleaner and create more jobs and bring life and not death. There were warnings from the scientists decades before Katrina hit this city that the climate crisis was going to make these hurricanes much more powerful and much worse. And you know what happened just 6 weeks later? Rita hit, and this is also the anniversary of Ida just 4 years ago, which destroyed some areas just north of here. And not many months ago, my home state had Hurricane Helene, and North Carolina had much worse. The amount of rain that fell in a few days was equal to what Niagara Falls drops in 2.5 years. Last month, we had 12 once-in-a-thousand-year events in our country in a 3-day period. And the scientists who warned us decades ago have been proven to be dead right. That ought to make us pay a little bit more attention to what they're warning us right now, because we continue to put another 175 million tons up into the sky every day, thickening the blanket of heat that is trapping more extra heat every day than would be released by 750,000 Hiroshima bombs exploding on the earth every 24 hours. Now that may sound like statistics, but when the rain comes, when the storm hits, when the drought dries up the water, when the ice melts and the sea level rises, when the climate refugees cross international borders, now in the millions, predicted to be more than 1 billion within the next 25 years, remember that these warnings came, and now is the time to act on these warnings. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said in his famous speech about the fierce urgency of now, and I quote from him, "We are now faced with the fact, my friends, that tomorrow is today. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. Now let us begin. Now let us rededicate ourselves to the long and bitter but beautiful struggle for a new world." 20 years ago today, I was scheduled to make a speech here in this city to all 50 state insurance commissioners about the climate crisis. Of course, it had to be canceled. It's never been rescheduled. We've got to wake up. We've got everything we need. We've got the technology. We've got the proven deployment models. We've got the knowledge. Here's what they tell us we're missing: enough political will. But I'm telling you, political will is itself a renewable resource. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gore. Now we will have Councilmember Oliver Thomas from District E.
First, I want to thank God for this gathering. I want to welcome everyone to our home. Many of us, it's our place of birth. We're from here. Welcome to the Lower Ninth Ward. Ninth Ward, for you people who really focus on diction, we say Ninth Ward. CTC, cross that canal. Lower Nine. And for all of you who got here, if it was by curiosity, somebody invited you, you live here, or you got a passport, know that we appreciate you being here commemorating with us about what happened, not just during Katrina, but also during Betsy, those of us who were rescued then. But we want you to know this: the wind may blow, the water may flow, the levees may break, but you can't break New Orleans. From malaria in 1918, from the floods in 27, to every disaster and neglect that ever happened, we always gonna be here.
you, Councilman Thomas. Now we'll have at-large Councilman and President J.P. Morrell.
I want to begin by thanking the Hip Hop Caucus in New Orleans Katrina Commemoration Foundation. I'm J.P. Morrell, the President of New Orleans City Council, and I bring greetings on behalf of my colleagues Eugene Green, I saw Freddie King, and I want to give a special shout out to my colleague Vice President Helena Moreno, because today is a city holiday because the people of this city demanded it. 20 years, a perfect storm of a natural disaster and governmental failure that led to catastrophe. We are not the city we were. We are different, but we will never forget. New Orleans is a city of critical culture, where memory and honoring our roots is the foundation of our identity. If you're from here or you're new to here, you know that's what we're about. We all know where we went to high school, and we all know what we represent. It is who we are. And to that end, I echo what a previous speaker said. I am tired of this term resilience. Resilience is passive. That's somebody you endure stuff that happens to you. We are not resilient. We are indomitable. We are a city that no matter what obstacle is placed before us, we run through it. No matter how many times we're knocked down, we stand up. There is nothing that this city cannot accomplish when we are together. No matter what the feds do, no matter what the state does, we always stand up. New Orleans is forever because our people never forget and we always move forward together. Whether a second line or a dirge, we remember. This mural by B. Mike behind us, done by Eternal Seeds, is a generational passing of our kids continuing to tell the story. That is what's important. We pass down our history through our voice, with our families. We love each other, we support each other, and nothing can defeat us as long as we stay together. Much love, New Orleans.
And now, coming to the stage, someone that I hold very dear in my heart. Artist, activist, and I don't know why y'all don't be talking about her cooking. She's a chef. You better know it. Whip them pots. Come on, Mama Mia.
How y'all feeling? We here. Hello, Uncle Sam. You saw your people on the roof, on the bridge, and in the waters. News people called us refugees, but we the native sons and daughters of New Orleans. We are New Orleans. And no matter what they say, ancestors say we here to stay. Our babies, 5 to 18 years old when Hurricane Katrina hit. And when them levees came through on them, and we were scattered all over America. Them babies, 5 to 18, they faced difficulties in school. We went places and we had dreadlocks. They hadn't seen children in school with dreadlocks. We had last names that they couldn't pronounce. We were dropped off in poor communities. They didn't have nothing either. So they thought we was coming take their free stuff, get their houses. Our children were fighting. They were being bullied. They were depressed. They were living with parents who were depressed. Some of them lived 4 days in a house with deceased relatives, on the bridge, in the water. But through it all, some of those very children are our educators. They are doctors, they are lawyers, they are entrepreneurs, they are entertainers, because that's who we are. But I don't want y'all to forget this part. They neglected the mental health of the children. They shut every facility down. And now we paying for it in overdoses in blood. If we don't take care of this young community, nobody will take care of us. I said it before. I was 35 when Katrina hit. I'm 55 now. When I'm 75, I want to see strong, productive, able, mentally sound people leading our community. So if we ask anything from anybody that's in power, do right by the people, because you people too. Thank you.
Now we will have Dr. Leona Tate.
Good morning. 65 years ago, at just 6 years old, I walked in McDonough 19th Elementary School with Tessie Prevost, Gail Etienne, Ruby Bridges, and friends. We were little girls, but we were carrying the weight of a nation on our shoulders. We were asked to face down mouths that the doors of education would open. In every child, our steps carried the hopes of a people and the future of our democracy in America. 45 years later, in 2005, another storm came. Hurricane Katrina didn't just bring wind and water. It exposed us to what was already broken. Katrina was not just a natural disaster. It was a man-made catastrophe born of neglect, racism, and disinvestment. The storm revealed what happens when poor and black communities are left unprotected. When levees are built cheaply, when safety is not extended to everyone, and yet here in this place where the waters rushed in our community refused to surrender. Today we gather on another sacred ground, the place where the levee broke, where a wall of water rushed in, and where thousands of lives were unended. Standing here before this powerful mural, we are reminded not only of the devastation, but of the beauty and resilience that rose up in the Lower Ninth Ward. For 20 years, the people of the Lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans East, led so often by black women, have fought to rebuild. They cooked meals, they gutted houses, they organized neighbors, rebuilt churches, taught children, and kept alive the traditions of Second Lines, Mardi Gras Indians, and the music and culture that the world associates with New Orleans. The beauty of this community is not just in what we lost, but in what we never let go of. Our dignity, our culture, our love for one another. But let me be clear, the full recovery of the Ninth Ward in New Orleans East is still unfinished. And the destiny of this city of Louisiana and of this nation is tied to whether we have the courage to finish what we started. And that destiny is inseparable from the climate crisis. As we stand here, we know that stronger storms are coming, not just in Louisiana, but across the nation. We know the water is rising. We know that within whole investment in coastal and restoration and greater environmental protection, the Lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans East may never fully recover. And worse, they may be lost again. That is why this moment matters. What happens here is a moral test. We will allow the same communities to be sacred once more, or what we learn from the failures of the past. We'll be invested in protection, restoration, justice, and not just for tourists, not just for corporations, but for the people who live here, who carried this city through the darkest days. 20 years after the storm, the answer to that question will not only determine the future of the Lower Ninth Ward, it will determine the future of New Orleans, the coast of Louisiana, and indeed the conscience of this nation. So today, standing on sacred ground, we honor the memory of those we lost and the courage of those who survived. And we recommit to justice, to restoration, to love, and to a recovery that leaves no one behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Leona Tate, founder and executive director of Leona Tate Foundation for Change. Now we will have Ms. Sunny Patterson, poet, activist, and cultural worker, followed by Rev Yearwood.
Hello, hello. How's everybody? Oh, we could do better than that. I know it for a fact. How's everybody? I know we here to commemorate, we here to honor, but one thing for sure, we are here to celebrate. We are here to celebrate at the same time. There's a poet who says, Lucille Clifton, who says, come and celebrate with me, that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. So the fact that we are here lets us know that failure was abound. So here we are today. Let's start with a little summary. Sometimes we walk up right on time, right into a black man speaking the gospel truth of who we are, of how we honor one another. This is passion and power, remembering the human element of life. Like, can the people piss in peace, he asked? This is pushing porta potties so we can release the waste, so police don't move in haste. These are the faces of the storm. These are the seeds growing and watered well. This is for the millions not here and the millions more, for the sufferers and the survivors. Here is where we connect. Here is also where we inspect the climate crisis and fossil fuels. This is when we listen to the voices reminding us of the warnings that when the rain comes and the storm hits, this is the fierce urgency of now, the right now. This is cancellation and no rescheduling, because there is no way we can reschedule disaster. Welcome to the Ninth Ward. Lower, upper, and all in between. It's all a nine to me. When natural phenomenon and government disaster has found its home, we are reminded that we are indomitable, that when we fall, we sure enough know how to get up over and over so our children can live and tell the story. We are New Orleans. Ancestors are here and living. This is not a place of the dead. This is a place where the neglected are protected. Whether you 35, 55, or 75, it's our babies knowing we care. It's us seeing a wonder of a Leona Tate stand before us as a woman holding the inner child of all of us, reminding us that hard times don't last, but we gotta fight. We gotta fight through it all. And Lord knows that when we fight, one thing for sure, we win, because we know this place. For we have glanced more times than we'd like to share into eyes that stare with nothing there behind them but an unfulfilled wish and an unconscious yearning for life. Though death rests comfortably beside us at night, their moans are louder. They come. This makes me emotional. They come to visit the guards at the gate, and they stay until morning, torturing their guilt-ridden insides. The silent cries of the keepers are louder than the booms that come from the guns they use to occupy the space. And we know this place, because we have seen more times than we'd like to imagine. Bloated cadavers, floating through waters of a city gone savage, foraging the land for what can be salvaged, but what can be saved when all is lost. It happened in August, 29 days in. We are now 5 days out of the only place we knew to call house and home, but few things are certain. 1, we have no food. 2, there are more bodies lying at the roadside than hot plates being distributed, or first aid being administered, or recognition as a citizen. 14th Amendment. X. Refugee. Check. And we know this place. Oh, it's ever changing, yet forever the same. Money and power and greed, the game. They suck and devour the souls of the slain. Oh, what a feast for the beast at their table of shame, with napkins round necks to catch the blood that drains from the flesh they chew. Oh, it's hell to gain, and we know this place, all too well. It's dank with the smell of death and doom. It hovers, it smothers. No growth, no room, no pretty, no please. Just gray, just gloom. Just born me a hope, and it died too soon. Just jucking, just jiving, just living. Oh, we just fools. And we know this place. It's decked in all its array and splendor, Golden streets with good intentions. They capture our attention, their gadgets and inventions. Pesticide the food supply is flu-like symptoms. Diabetic condition, a cancer in the system. Health on hold, it's a pistol to the temple. Go run to your churches. Tell Reverend it's simple. Good works and good deeds is what equals redemption. But tell me please, Jesus never mentioned how the churchmen get extensions on freedom while children are being fondled from the altar to the streets, then back to the sanctuaries. Oh, it's kind of scary, ain't it? To know that both the prophet and the priest practice deceit, then come to the people and they claim peace, peace. Oh, they come to the people and they claim love, love. But look, where is the peace, huh? Where is the love? Where is that balm in Gilead that can heal the wounded soul or make the half-man whole? I swear we know this place because we have bowed before, never again to return. But look, here we are. Oh, we back in the desert. Dry mouth and thirsting for waters from heaven. But come children, rally round, and maybe together we can make a sound that'll shake the trees or rattle the ground, make strong our knees. We's a freedom bound, and we know this place, huh? Reclaim the crown, hold on to the prize, never put it down, be firm in the stance. It's no breaks, no bow. Gotta forward on mamas, make your move now. Forward on babas, make your move now. Forward, dear children, because freedom is right now.
That is a tough act to follow, but I'm going to bring to the stage a father of the city, voice of the Pelicans, and hip-hop radio for the past 3 generations, 3 decades, 35 years in. Philanthropist, gardener, activist, role model, mentor. Y'all know him as your boy Wild Wayne.
How y'all doing out there? Y'all give it up for Sonny Patterson, man. Always bringing the truth. I'm not going to be up here too long, but I do want to make sure that you guys are awake. I represent for the 7th Ward all day, every day. But even bigger, I represent for all of New Orleans. If you from New Orleans, make some noise. If your people from New Orleans, make some noise. If your mom and them from New Orleans, make some noise. Although it's the 20th anniversary, and we wish it never happened, it did. But we got to still stand strong, not just for the people in the 9th Ward, but everywhere. So I'm going to do a quick roll call because I want participation. Anybody from the 3rd Ward, Uptown in the building? 4th Ward, 5th Ward, 6th Ward, 7th Ward, hardheads, 8th Ward, animals, or how about that 5? That 5. We got 10 Ward Uptown in the building, STP, 11, 12, 13, and where that 15, 1.5 at? I just want to give everybody their props because I did, didn't I? And the 17. I left Great Town, Pigeon Town, Holly Grove out. My bad. Where that 17 at? But it's truly so exciting to see so many people out here that I know that I've fellowshiped with over the last 30 years that I've been on radio, but longer than for my life here in the woods. It's almost like a reunion, and reunions are supposed to be happy times, but of course we still have to remember those that lost their lives. If you do know somebody that lost their life or had a one-way ticket out of New Orleans in the biggest mass migration in modern history in America, then we'll have just a quick moment of silence for them. All right. It's always a little bit bittersweet when I come to this spot because you feel the energy that was lost here, right where this breach occurred. It is a great feeling that the Eternal Seeds and B. Mike built this mural and painted this mural so that it could, in effect, capture the moment of a bunch of kids that were not even here when it occurred. But this was to dispel myths and also to make sure that we documented what happened. So I'm not going to belabor the point here, but today is a day of remembrance, right? And it's also a day that we don't forget. And we also plan, what is the future of New Orleans? How do we control the narrative? Not the politicians or the policymakers, but the life and blood of New Orleans, people that are from the soil here. So make sure as we approach K40, another 20 years of this, that we control what happens in New Orleans. Do your part, be active, and just continue to be the New Orleans people that you are. I'm going to end it there. But we have more to come. You bringing them up? Okay. But thank you for your time. Wild Wayne from 293, from the New Orleans Pelicans, and from that 7th Ward, Native Son.
And now we have Reverend Yearwood coming up. Rev is the president of the Hip Hop Caucus.
You are all right. You are all right. I've been here. I'm from Louisiana, and I've been here at this spot for 19 years. I need to honor the moment and power. So first, I want to bring up my dear friend again to stand on this side, Vice President Al Gore. I need the organizers, Sino and Sex 45. I need Sonny. I need Wild Wayne to come back. I need Mia X, Dawn, Anthony Smith. I need those who I know have been here, because I don't think you understand the moment of power that this is about. All those whom I'm missing, yes, come on up. Anybody missing else, sir? So all y'all press can get this shot, because the whole world is watching. And I need the world to see that we're still here. I need the world to see that they need to see Sesh 45 and Sino and all, and Wild Wayne and Mia X and all the organizers. I don't know Joe Black. I wish he was here, but I need to see those who understand the power of the 9th Ward, the 7th Ward, all the wards. I need them to see. Are we up here? All right. So I need y'all to get y'all's picture, because what's important about this moment here is that regardless of what the world is going to see, they need to see that we as human beings are coming together to fight for future generations. Black, white, brown, male, female, straight, gay, theist, atheist, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, humans are determined not only to fight for New Orleans, but for this world that is under attack. So I want y'all to get this picture right now. They got it. I share. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Give it up for that moment. I'm just gonna say my word and then take my seat. In the words of Bell Hooks, the rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. In the words of Bell Hooks, the rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. The same Hurricane Katrina that might have affected one person wasn't the same Hurricane Katrina that affected some other folks. There are some folks back in 2005 who were able to leave New Orleans, reclaim their lives, come back to New Orleans, and live their lives because of privilege. Then there are folks who are right here whose lives look exactly like it did 20 years ago. The rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. And in Louisiana, one of the most important things that we have heard over and over again, that the same climate crisis, the same pollution that is causing Cancer Alley, the 85 miles of land from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, where petrochemical facilities, that same pollution is not only killing those here throughout the world, but it's killing all of those right here in New Orleans. The rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. The same folks who are pulling out of FEMA and taking out the parachute of those who are protected, the rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. Those who are putting ice on our people and dragging them out of the country, the rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. Those who are undercutting Medicaid and taking away health care systems and putting forth the prison industrial complex, the rage of the privileged is not the same as the rage of the oppressed. But it's time for the oppressed to stand up. It is time for the oppressed to say enough is enough. It is time for the oppressed to make some noise. So on this day, August 29, 2025, the oppressed around the world, around Louisiana, who are standing up in solidarity to say that we are tired of being oppressed and the nonsense stops right now. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people.
Make some noise for Reverend Yearwood from the Hip Hop Caucus. One of our Louisiana sons that continues to fight the fight from New Orleans to Washington and beyond. Up next, it is with great pride that I bring this brother up. I've seen him grow so much over the years. We've done a number of things together in the community with kids. We've done a number of things in the music community as well. He and his brother were the brainchilds of doing this commemoration because they are sons of the 9th Ward, a.k.a. 4-5. I need y'all to put your hands together for the guy that has persevered when all people were saying he couldn't do this. You remember when he was in City Hall and made international news, but he has continued to fight the good fight and put on some amazing events and make sure we commemorate the folks that are not here. Please put your hands together for Seth 4-5.
God is good, God is good. You already know. So, 20 years later, we, back at this spot. This moment is for the citizens of New Orleans, the people of New Orleans. My name's Seth 4-5, for those that don't know me. I'm a New Orleans native. I was born at Charity Hospital. My mama named Melinda, but they call her Minna. My daddy named Darryl, but they call him Budgie. They out the Desire, so when they brought me from Charity Hospital to the Desire Project. In the old New Orleans, it was a very impoverished city, a very impoverished community. So we didn't have a lot growing up in this city, right? I'm talking about we were real poor. So, we used to have to stand in line to get commodity cheese and government cheese with a bunch of people that I know who celebrities now. We were so poor, not poor. We were so poor, our lights would go off and we had to put the extension cord next door to the neighbor to give us a little power till, we got our little money right. We were so poor, our water got cut off And we used to have to go down the street. See, you remember we used to get them baskets and fill them up with the water jugs, when your kid with water run out. We used to fill them up for take baths and cook your food. I don't know if y'all ever been that poor, but back in the days in New Orleans, we was that poor. This city been impoverished for a long time, right? And some say it's more impoverished than pre-Katrina. And shout out to the, Eternal Seas and B. Mike, they painted this beautiful mural. But I need y'all to turn around. I need y'all to turn around. You see this community? The ninth ward, the Lord Ninth Ward, where the most homeowners was at? Look how that looked 20 years later. That's the travesty. And so that's one of the reasons we do this, right? Because of our people, the people who lost their lives 20 years ago, and the New Orleanians who came back when they gave us a one-way bus ticket all over America, a one-way bus ticket. We had to fight the right to return. We was fighting for the right to return. I remember there was $300 rents and $500, and then we come back, we trying to come back, and they tripled it as $1,500 and all these price gouging numbers to keep the New Orleanians out. But the people in this city said, I want to be a New Orleanian. I'm coming back to New Orleans to keep the culture. We don't want no hot dogs in our gumbo. You heard me? I was sharing at our press conference, I said the citizens of New Orleans, sometimes when stuff happens to you, we say, God, why me? Y'all ever said that? And, I got a shirt that say, God picked me on the front, on the back, and say, God picked you. Because that's the answer. When you say, God, why me? It's because God picked you for the struggle, for the thing you got to go through. So the you who going to be on the other side of that, when you come out, because we always come out of it, you're going to be a stronger you. So God picked you for that. New Orleans, God picked us. 20 years later, look at us now. All of the people the poorness that I talked about, all of the entrepreneurs I know, all of the people who are successful, it's not all doom and gloom, but look at us now. Hey, I need y'all to say something for me right quick. It's my cameraman. I need y'all to say think big on the count of three. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Y'all ain't loud enough, man. What's wrong with y'all? Get back. We're going to do that one more time. I need to feel it in your soul. Because think big is something that came to me when I was thinking about being successful and being abundant, right? And I said, God, I want more success. I want my family right. I want all of this abundance, right? I want this and that and that. And God said, that's all? That's all? I got all this for you, and that's all you want. He said, you're thinking too small. So think big. So on the count of 3, I need you to think big, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we ain't thinking small no more. So I'm not gonna keep us longer, right? So we about to start this 20th annual Katrina March and Second Life. Young Cino, come here, my brother. This is my brother. Me and Cino, because I gotta share this. The reason this march happened, right? 2005, the levees, Katrina passed. We always like to say that. Clarity, intentionality. The hurricane passed. It was on Canal Street, sunny, and then the levee blew. The failures of the levee, water come through the community. So, me and my brother we come back. I'm a hip hop artist, so we threw the first concert in October. My cousin Jesse James, come on Jesse, I need Jesse up here. But listen, so 2006, we participated in the march. In 2005, former Sheriff Harry Lee stopped people from going over the Crescent City connection to dry land. They just wanted to get to dry land. And he stopped them in 2005. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days we was waiting on government to show up. So in 2006, then Mayor Ray Nagin did a march with Al Sharpton and, you know, Jesse Jackson and Mark Morial and all these people. And we marched over, this is our first march, me and my brother, our very first civil participation, right? 2006, April. We go over the Crescent City connection, Long Bridge. I'm like, hey, this feel like what Martin Luther King must have known what we're going through, right? So we get on the other side of the Crescent City connection. They have a rally. All of the dignitaries speak. All your Jesse Jacksons and all those guys. They had a brother who was with us. He didn't come with us, but he was marching with us, and he said, I was in that number. I was on that bridge. I want to say something. I want to share my story. And they wouldn't let him talk. That was the reason we was marching, but y'all don't want to give him a voice? And so me and my brother, he said, we got to walk back across the bridge now. We got to walk back. So we think we disheartened. We like, man, we was feeling good like MLK and them in the civil rights movement. But when we coming back, we disheartened because they didn't want, the reason we was there, they didn't want to let the man talk. So we said, look, we going to do a march. We ain't let no politician speak. So it was a few months later, we said, let's do August 29, 2006, because that's the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and we, you know, start organizing and planning. We did that 1-year anniversary. Thousands of people came out, and we didn't let no politicians speak. But this year is different. You know, it's the 20-year anniversary, and, you know, we was talking, and we've been planning this all year. And because of the hard work of the Hip Hop Caucus and New Orleans Katrina Commemoration, can y'all give it up for my team one time? New Orleans Katrina Commemoration, Hip Hop Caucus. So when we was planning this year, some of the things we wanted to accomplish was to make August 29th a holiday, because every year we do this, we've been doing it year 1, year 2, year 5, year 7, year 12, and people have to decide, can I honor my lost loved one on the anniversary of Katrina, or do I go to work and not honor my lost loved one? So we wanted to make it a holiday, and June 12th, with the help of the best city council I believe we had in New Orleans, we were able to make August 29th a city holiday. Y'all can clap for that. Thank the council for that. But we're not finished, because this is the first Katrina commemoration that the city elected officials get the day off, but I need the people to get the day off. So all these elected officials, I need y'all to help make August 29th next year a state holiday. You heard me? Where the people, federal holiday, I'm with it. Where the people get the day off, man. We don't got to bring the kids to school. We don't got to decide that we're going to honor our lost loved ones. Shout out to Robert Green, who couldn't be here. He lost his grandchild 20 years ago. He lost his mother 20 years ago. And I just want to show love to my Lower Ninth Ward people. If you're from the Lower Ninth Ward, can you make some noise for me, please? These are the people in this community that we support, because that's why we do it on this side, man. Y'all got to come over here and help this community, man. You got to stop the grain train. All of those things you're doing in this community, you got to stop that. And I appreciate the young black males, like my brother said. So part of the stuff I was sharing about was because, man, I'm a young black male in this city who've been racially profiled, all kind of stuff. But I was able to do this. Look around. You know what I'm saying? You know, young black male. With the help of the community, we put this together. We got all the councilmen here and councilwomen, sheriff, deputies. We got the former vice president of the United States here. A young black dude who was part of the Desire Project. You heard me? So anything you want to do, you can do it. My thing is to inspire everybody, young people. And you see, it's all ranges, all generations. This ain't just, y'all saw the kids that was here? That was beautiful. The elders. I just said it, brother. Stop the violence. Stop the, oh, I thought that was stop the grave train, my bad. But, so look, we gonna get started, but the march starts this way, up this street right here. So those officers, they gonna get out of the way. We gonna line up right here. You heard me, Baba Kamal, come on up. So we gonna go up this street right here. We go up 2 streets to Tennessee Street, and then we make a right. We go to Claiborne Street, then we take a left on Claiborne to Renee Street, and then we make a right. We get to St. Claude, and then we go over to St. Claude Bridge, and then we go straight up, make a right on St. Bernard. But listen, all my officers out there, all my officers, I need all my officers to listen up for me, please. Officers, do not stop the motor, the bicycle people, the trolley people. We need New Orleans to come together. I'm asking y'all, we pay for our permit, you know what I'm saying, our escort. Please, let them through, and we want everybody to participate in this. I'm asking the officers politely, please don't stop nobody who won't participate in this 20th annual Katrina Marching Second Line. Successful 5. Thank y'all.
If y'all need them, there are some jerseys, the Katrina Marching, Katrina Commemoration Marching Second Line commemorative jerseys are at that table right there in the back. There's a selected few left. I suggest that y'all go over there and get those jerseys before they're all gone. Asking everybody to line up in this middle of the street. We about to celebrate, y'all. This is a celebration. Do not forget. We're going to celebrate today, you heard? Let's get it. All volunteers, I need the volunteers and helpers to come up top right now. All volunteers, I need y'all to come up top right now, please. Right here.
Jack. Oh, you didn't turn me off? Yeah. Give me 1 second. Yo.
coming this way. How you doing?
How you doing, bro? How y'all doing? How you doing? Doing all right, man. Yeah. Making it. I know that's right.
Let's go, Mikey.
Rocking this number, then it took control. Lord, I still matter. Say early
योर एक्सेलेंसी, प्रधानमंत्री इशिबा जी, भारत और जापान के बिजनेस लीडर्स, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्कार, कोनिचिवा। मैं आज सुबह ही टोक्यो पहुंचा हूं। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मेरी यात्रा की शुरुआत बिजनेस जगत के दिग्गजों के साथ हो रही है और उसमें से आपसे बहुत लोग हैं जिनसे मेरा व्यक्तिगत परिचय रहा है। जब मैं गुजरात में था तब भी और गुजरात से दिल्ली आया तो तब भी आप में से कई लोगों से बहुत ही निकट परिचय मेरा रहा है और मुझे खुशी है कि आज सबसे मुझे मिलने का अवसर मिला है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री इशिबा का विशेष रूप से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि वे इस फोरम से जुड़े हैं। उनके बहुमूल्य वक्तव्य के लिए मैं उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं। साथियों, भारत की विकास यात्रा में जापान हमेशा एक अहम पार्टनर रहा है। मेट्रो से लेकर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तक, सेमीकंडक्टर से लेकर स्टार्टअप्स तक, हर क्षेत्र में हमारी साझेदारी आपसी विश्वास का प्रतीक बनी है। जापानी कंपनियों ने भारत में $40 बिलियन से ज्यादा का निवेश किया है। मात्र पिछले 2 वर्षों में $13 बिलियन का प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ है। JBIC कहता है कि भारत सबसे प्रॉमिसिंग डेस्टिनेशन है। जेट्रो बताता है कि 80% कंपनियां भारत में एक्सपांड करना चाहती है और 75% ऑलरेडी मुनाफे में है। यानी इन इंडिया कैपिटल does not just grow, it multiplies. साथियों, पिछले 11 वर्षों में भारत के अभूतपूर्व ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन से आप सब भली भांति परिचित है। आज भारत में पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी है, इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी है, पॉलिसी में पारदर्शिता है, प्रिडिक्टिबिलिटी है। आज भारत विश्व की सबसे तेज ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है और बहुत जल्द विश्व की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है। वैश्विक ग्रोथ में भारत 18% योगदान दे रहा है। भारत की कैपिटल मार्केट्स में अच्छे रिटर्न्स मिल रहे हैं। एक मजबूत बैंकिंग सेक्टर भी है। लो इन्फ्लेशन और लो इंटरेस्ट रेट्स, करीब $700 बिलियन के फॉरेक्स रिजर्व है। साथियों, इस बदलाव के पीछे हमारी रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म और ट्रांसफॉर्म की अप्रोच है। 2017 में हमने वन नेशन वन टैक्स की शुरुआत की थी। अब इसमें नए और बड़े रिफॉर्म लाने पर काम चल रहा है। कुछ हफ्ते पहले हमारी संसद ने नए और सिंप्लीफाइड इनकम टैक्स कोड को भी मंजूरी दी है। हमारे रिफॉर्म्स केवल टैक्स प्रणाली तक सीमित नहीं है। हमने ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस पर बल दिया है। बिजनेस के लिए सिंगल डिजिटल विंडो अप्रूवल की व्यवस्था की है। हमने 45,000 कंप्लायंसेस रेशनलाइज किए हैं। इस प्रक्रिया को गति देने के लिए डीरेगुलेशन पर एक उच्च स्तरीय कमेटी बनाई गई है। डिफेंस और स्पेस जैसे सेंसिटिव क्षेत्रों को प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए खोल दिया गया है। अब हम न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी सेक्टर को भी खोल रहे हैं। साथियों, इन रिफॉर्म्स के पीछे हमारा विकसित भारत बनाने का संकल्प है, हमारा कमिटमेंट है, कन्विक्शन है और स्ट्रेटेजी है। और विश्व ने इसे रिकॉग्नाइज ही नहीं, एप्रिशिएट भी किया है। S&P ग्लोबल ने 2 दशक बाद भारत के क्रेडिट रेटिंग अपग्रेड किए हैं। द वर्ल्ड इज नॉट जस्ट वॉचिंग इंडिया, इट इज काउंटिंग ऑन इंडिया। साथियों, अभी भारत जापान बिजनेस फोरम की रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत की गई। कंपनियों के बीच हुई बिजनेस डील्स, इसका बड़ा विस्तार से वर्णन दिया गया। इस प्रगति के लिए मैं आप सभी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। हमारी साझेदारी के लिए मैं भी कुछ सुझाव बड़ी नम्रतापूर्वक आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूंगा। पहला है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। ऑटो सेक्टर में हमारी भागीदारी बेहद सफल रही है और अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका विस्तार से वर्णन किया। हम साथ मिलकर वही मैजिक बैटरीज, रोबोटिक्स, सेमीकंडक्टर, शिप बिल्डिंग और न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में भी दोहरा सकते हैं। साथ मिलकर हम ग्लोबल साउथ, विशेषकर अफ्रीका के विकास में अहम योगदान दे सकते हैं। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड। सुजुकी और डाइकिन की सक्सेस स्टोरीज आपकी भी सक्सेस स्टोरीज बन सकती है। दूसरा है टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन। जापान टेक पावर हाउस है और भारत एक टैलेंट पावर हाउस है। भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं। तीसरा क्षेत्र है ग्रीन एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन। भारत तेजी से 2030 तक 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है। हमने 2047 तक 100 गीगावाट न्यूक्लियर पावर का भी लक्ष्य रखा है। सोलर सेल्स हो या फिर ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, साझेदारी की अपार संभावनाएं हैं। भारत और जापान के बीच जॉइंट क्रेडिट मैकेनिज्म पर समझौता हुआ है। इसका लाभ उठाकर क्लीन और ग्रीन फ्यूचर के निर्माण में सहयोग किया जा सकता है। चौथा है नेक्स्ट जेन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। पिछले एक दशक में भारत ने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन मोबिलिटी और लॉजिस्टिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में अभूतपूर्व प्रगति की है। हमारे पोर्ट्स की क्षमता दोगुनी हो गई है। 160 से ऊपर एयरपोर्ट्स हैं। 1000 किलोमीटर लंबी मेट्रो लाइन बनी है। जापान के सहयोग से मुंबई और अहमदाबाद हाई स्पीड रेल पर काम चल रहा है। लेकिन हमारी यात्रा यही नहीं रुकती। Japan's excellence and India's scale can create a perfect partnership. पांचवा है स्किल डेवलपमेंट और पीपल टू पीपल टाइज। भारत का स्किल्ड युवा टैलेंट वैश्विक जरूरतें पूरी करने की क्षमता रखता है। इसका लाभ जापान भी उठा सकता है। आप भारतीय टैलेंट को जापानी भाषा और सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में ट्रेनिंग दें और मिलकर एक जापान रेडी वर्कफोर्स तैयार करिए। A shared workforce will lead to shared prosperity. साथियों, अंत में मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा, इंडिया एंड जापान पार्टनरशिप इज स्ट्रेटेजिक एंड स्मार्ट, पावर्ड बाय इकोनॉमिक लॉजिक. We have turned shared interest into shared prosperity. India is the springboard for Japanese businesses to the global south. Together, we will shape the Asian century for stability, growth and prosperity. इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं प्रधानमंत्री इशिबाजी और आप सभी का आभार प्रकट करता हूं. अरिगातो गोजाइमास. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Now it's time to go across straight to Tokyo because we have that important engagement that Prime Minister Modi is having along with Prime Minister Ishiba. You see him in the images here with business leaders of both India and Japan in Tokyo.
Democracy and the rule of law. And over many years, we have nurtured a friendship built on trust. Japan's advanced technology and India's outstanding talent and vast market complement each other, leading to a dramatic expansion of our economic ties. Many Japanese companies are playing a key role in Make in India, and our cooperation is extending across the Pacific and Indian Ocean, Africa, and even into Europe. Today, the signing of numerous cooperation documents between our companies demonstrates Japan's firm commitment to further investment in India and strengthening collaboration, and it is clear evidence that we are steadily building a robust supply chain centered on our two nations. It is a great honor for me to stand here together with His Excellency Prime Minister Modi at such a moment. I wish to see our bilateral cooperation develop even further into the future. To achieve this, I will outline 3 key initiatives. First, the promotion of people-to-people exchanges, that is the foundation. 6 years ago, I have visited Varanasi, a city that symbolizes Indian culture. The people I met there were hardworking and filled with strong hopes for the future. And I was overwhelmed by India's energy for growth. In my home prefecture of Tottori, together with Shimane Prefecture, the Sun in India Association has been working with local governments, industries, and the Chamber of Commerce in Kerala, acting as a bridge for human networks between our countries and bringing new vitality to regional revitalization. I believe that the expansion of such people-to-people exchanges will be the key to enriching the future of both of our nations. Second, the fusion of technology and markets. Under Prime Minister Modi's policy of building a self-reliant Indian economy, Japanese technology has steadily built a record of achievement in sectors that underpin economic foundations. For example, Japan and India share the goal of seeing the Japanese Shinkansen train run across Indian soil, and many companies are working together on the construction of the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail. Sumitomo Realty and Development is cooperating with the state of government in Mumbai on a station area development project. In the automobile sector, a field in which Japan excels, Maruti Suzuki, which entered India 40 years ago, now commands an overwhelming market share. Suzuki and Toyota are both undertaking major new investments in India. New initiatives are underway. One of them is the development of vehicles compatible with biofuels, crucial for decarbonization. The introduction of biofuel vehicles will generate significant demand for biofuels and contributing to the development of rural India. There is also a move toward the global market. Suzuki and Isuzu Motors has been developing products in India, and they are delivering 300,000 vehicles. This powerfully embodies the vision of making India for the world. Finally, cooperation in critical technology sectors such as semiconductors. Under Prime Minister Modi's leadership in semiconductors, efforts are underway to develop India into a future hub for semiconductor manufacturing and design. Tokyo Electron, Renesas, and Fujifilm, such companies are actively supporting this initiative by investing locally. In the battery sector, just last month, a delegation of over 30 Japanese companies visited India, and a total of 70 companies from both sides engaged in business matching. Discussions toward collaborations are already active, and we look forward to further progress. In addition, in the fields such as AI, space, and clean energy, India-Japan relations are making great strides by leveraging India's growing market. In an increasingly uncertain global economy, building resilient supply chains with reliable partners, and ensuring economic security are essential for further economic development. Discussions on concrete cooperation are already underway in our industries, and yesterday, JETRO, together with the industries of both countries, announced a joint action plan. I sincerely hope that such initiatives will be advanced between India and Japan, bound together by unwavering friendship and trust. As I mentioned, there lies great potential for progress between our countries. Needless to say, the driving force to turn this potential into reality is all of you in the business community. Alongside the government of India, the government of Japan will firmly support these steps forward. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Ishiba. Now we would like to invite His Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, to give us an opening remark. Next, we would like to invite His Excellency Prime Minister Modi, please. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, प्रधानमंत्री इशिबा जी, भारत और जापान के बिजनेस लीडर्स, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्कार, कोनिचिवा। मैं आज सुबह ही टोक्यो पहुंचा हूं। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मेरी यात्रा की शुरुआत बिजनेस जगत के दिग्गजों के साथ हो रही है और उसमें से आपसे बहुत लोग हैं जिनसे मेरा व्यक्तिगत परिचय रहा है। जब मैं गुजरात में था तब भी और गुजरात से दिल्ली आया तो तब भी आप में से कई लोगों से बहुत ही निकट परिचय मेरा रहा है और मुझे खुशी है कि आज सबसे मुझे मिलने का अवसर मिला है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री इशिबा का विशेष रूप से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि वे इस फोरम से जुड़े हैं। उनके बहुमूल्य वक्तव्य के लिए मैं उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं। साथियों, भारत की विकास यात्रा में जापान हमेशा एक अहम पार्टनर रहा है। मेट्रो से लेकर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तक, सेमीकंडक्टर से लेकर स्टार्टअप्स तक, हर क्षेत्र में हमारी साझेदारी आपसी विश्वास का प्रतीक बनी है। जापानी कंपनियों ने भारत में $40 बिलियन से ज्यादा का निवेश किया है। मात्र पिछले 2 वर्षों में $13 बिलियन का प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ है। JBIC कहता है कि भारत सबसे प्रॉमिसिंग डेस्टिनेशन है। जेट्रो बताता है कि 80% कंपनियां भारत में एक्सपांड करना चाहती है और 75% ऑलरेडी मुनाफे में है। यानी इन इंडिया कैपिटल डज नॉट जस्ट ग्रो, इट मल्टीप्लाइज। साथियों, पिछले 11 वर्षों में भारत के अभूतपूर्व ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन से आप सब भली भांति परिचित है। आज भारत में पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी है, इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी है, पॉलिसी में पारदर्शिता है, प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी है। आज भारत विश्व की सबसे तेज ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है और बहुत जल्द विश्व की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है। वैश्विक ग्रोथ में भारत 18% योगदान दे रहा है। भारत की कैपिटल मार्केट्स में अच्छे रिटर्न्स मिल रहे हैं। एक मजबूत बैंकिंग सेक्टर भी है, लो इन्फ्लेशन और लो इंटरेस्ट रेट्स, करीब $700 बिलियन के फॉरेक्स रिजर्व है। साथियों, इस बदलाव के पीछे हमारी रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म और ट्रांसफॉर्म की अप्रोच है। 2017 में हमने वन नेशन वन टैक्स की शुरुआत की थी। अब इसमें नए और बड़े रिफॉर्म लाने पर काम चल रहा है। कुछ हफ्ते पहले हमारी संसद ने नए और सिंप्लीफाइड इनकम टैक्स कोड को भी मंजूरी दी है। हमारे रिफॉर्म्स केवल टैक्स प्रणाली तक सीमित नहीं है। हमने ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस पर बल दिया है, बिजनेस के लिए सिंगल डिजिटल विंडो अप्रूवल की व्यवस्था की है। हमने 45,000 कंप्लायंसेस रेशनलाइज किए हैं। इस प्रक्रिया को गति देने के लिए डीरेगुलेशन पर एक उच्च स्तरीय कमेटी बनाई गई है। डिफेंस और स्पेस जैसे सेंसिटिव क्षेत्रों को प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए खोल दिया गया है। अब हम न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी सेक्टर को भी खोल रहे हैं। साथियों, इन रिफॉर्म्स के पीछे हमारा विकसित भारत बनाने का संकल्प है, हमारा कमिटमेंट है, कन्विक्शन है और स्ट्रेटेजी है। और विश्व ने इसे रिकॉग्नाइज ही नहीं, एप्रिशिएट भी किया है। S&P ग्लोबल ने 2 दशक बाद भारत के क्रेडिट रेटिंग अपग्रेड किए हैं। द वर्ल्ड इज नॉट जस्ट वॉचिंग इंडिया, इट इज काउंटिंग ऑन इंडिया। साथियों, अभी भारत जापान बिजनेस फोरम की रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत की गई। कंपनियों के बीच हुई बिजनेस डील्स इसका बड़ा विस्तार से वर्णन दिया गया। इस प्रगति के लिए मैं आप सभी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। हमारी साझेदारी के लिए मैं भी कुछ सुझाव बड़ी नम्रतापूर्वक आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूंगा। पहला है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। ऑटो सेक्टर में हमारी भागीदारी बेहद सफल रही है और अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका विस्तार से वर्णन किया। हम साथ मिलकर वही मैजिक बैटरीज, रोबोटिक्स, सेमीकंडक्टर, शिप बिल्डिंग और न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में भी दोहरा सकते हैं। साथ मिलकर हम ग्लोबल साउथ, विशेषकर अफ्रीका के विकास में अहम योगदान दे सकते हैं। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड। सुजुकी और डाइकिन की सक्सेस स्टोरीज आपकी भी सक्सेस स्टोरीज बन सकती है। दूसरा है टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन। जापान टेक पावर हाउस है और भारत एक टैलेंट पावर हाउस है। भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं। तीसरा क्षेत्र है ग्रीन एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन। भारत तेजी से 2030 तक 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है। हमने 2047 तक 100 गीगावाट न्यूक्लियर पावर का भी लक्ष्य रखा है। सोलर सेल्स हो या फिर ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, साझेदारी की अपार संभावनाएं हैं। भारत और जापान के बीच जॉइंट क्रेडिट मैकेनिज्म पर समझौता हुआ है। इसका लाभ उठाकर क्लीन और ग्रीन फ्यूचर के निर्माण में सहयोग किया जा सकता है। चौथा है नेक्स्ट जेन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। पिछले एक दशक में भारत ने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन मोबिलिटी और लॉजिस्टिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में अभूतपूर्व प्रगति की है। हमारे पोर्ट्स की क्षमता दोगुनी हो गई है। 160 से ऊपर एयरपोर्ट्स हैं। 1000 किलोमीटर लंबी मेट्रो लाइन बनी है। जापान के सहयोग से मुंबई और अहमदाबाद हाई स्पीड रेल पर काम चल रहा है। लेकिन हमारी यात्रा यहीं नहीं रुकती। जापान्स एक्सेलेंस एंड इंडिया स्केल कैन क्रिएट अ परफेक्ट पार्टनरशिप। पांचवा है स्किल डेवलपमेंट और पीपल टू पीपल टाइप्स। भारत का स्किल्ड युवा टैलेंट वैश्विक जरूरतें पूरी करने की क्षमता रखता है। इसका लाभ जापान भी उठा सकता है। आप भारतीय टैलेंट को जापानी भाषा और सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में ट्रेनिंग दें और मिलकर एक जापान रेडी वर्कफोर्स तैयार करिए। A shared workforce will lead to shared prosperity। साथियों, अंत में मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा, इंडिया एंड जापान पार्टनरशिप इज strategic and smart, powered by economic logic. We have turned shared interest into shared prosperity. India is the springboard for Japanese businesses to the global south. Together, we will shape the ASEAN century, Asian century for stability, growth and prosperity। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं प्रधानमंत्री इशिबाजी और आप सभी का आभार प्रकट करता हूं। अरिगातो गोजाइमास। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
モディ首相、ありがとうございました。
और आप सुन रहे थे टोक्यो से।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and before that Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba of Japan addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi particularly came up with a few recommendations across various sectors, from manufacturing to several other sectors like green energy transition and others as well. And towards the end, of course, he spoke of how India and Japan can work together for an Asian century or an ASEAN century for stability and growth. And he, in a way, charted out the path that both countries and companies and businesses of both sides can take to reach that goal.
Yes, there you have it. And let me go across to Ambassador S.R. Tayal, if he's with us. What did you make of the address of both the Prime Ministers? Really, a lot of complementarity there, even an overlap in terms of the kind of vision that they share and the areas that have already been identified for, not just the governments to work together, but even companies, industries, investors to work together and bring them together.
There is a remarkable convergence in the future-oriented outlook of both Prime Minister Ishiba Japan and our Prime Minister, in where India-Japan economic and industry collaboration can take the two countries, and not only the two countries, but the entire global south. And in that, of course, Japanese Prime Minister specifically referred to Africa. And there are some efforts already. India, Japan, Africa cooperation is there. Now, the Prime Minister, as always does, goes into specifics. And he identified the direction for future collaboration. I think this will all be reflected in the new development strategy and vision document, which we expect to be the output from this summit. And then, of course, transport was mentioned by our Prime Minister as well as by the Japanese Prime Minister. And the future will be in shipbuilding, and nuclear energy was emphasized again and again by our Prime Minister.
Yes, he also mentioned batteries, robotics and semiconductors.
Batteries.
In manufacturing itself.
Green energy. So it is there is a lot of investment by India also in green hydrogen. We have a green hydrogen mission. So India is not coming just as a receiver of Japanese technology. India is positioning itself as a technology power and talent. Prime Minister said technology powerhouse in Japan and talent powerhouse in India. So there is a lot of compatibility, and the future-oriented outlook, whether it is in transport, energy, and then AI, semiconductors, quantum computing, space. So the vision is very clear, and the message to the Japanese business, Indian business, that the road will be smooth. Prime Minister mentioned that on ease of doing business, India has already made great strides, and there is a commission for reforms and deregulation. So our government, our Prime Minister, Niti Aayog, they are very focused. They have understood that there is something which needs to be done, and he promised the Japanese investors that more work will be done there. Next generation infrastructure, skill development, there also there is a lot of effort which needs to be done. Japanese language, I recall when Prime Minister Abe had come few years back, there was a proposal that about 30,000 Indian foremen will be trained in Japan, because in manufacturing, if India has to improve, the quality issues come up, and the shop floor, not engineers but the foremen, the supervisors, they need to be trained in Japanese ways of doing actual manufacturing, and how do they ensure both timely manufacture, delivery, as well as quality. So very specifics, and I believe that a lot of work is going on in that direction. So we need to learn more from Japan in skill development as well as the technology. But India is a huge market, and as Prime Minister said, that India can be a springboard for Japanese manufacturers, Japanese businesses, Japanese industry to satisfy the growing Indian market, as well as be a springboard for the entire global South. So he laid out a very convincing roadmap for the future of India-Japan economic and cooperation, particularly in manufacturing and co-development of technology, as well as transfer of technology to India to make India Viksit Bharat in 2047.
Right. Coming to you now, Professor Roy, on how do you look at the way Prime Minister mentioned at least twice in his speech the voice of the Global South, and he spoke of how manufacturing would help the African continent as well, and how, like Ambassador was saying, the focus is on India and Japan becoming a springboard, or India becoming a springboard to Japanese businesses and also to the Global South, because this, many would believe, is a bilateral economic forum between India and Japan. Yet the concern of the Global South is being reflected by the Prime Minister even when this visit is taking place in the bilateral context.
Let me draw your attention to the fact that in most of the joint statements that we've had so far, there has been sections that was gone beyond the bilaterals, whether it was in form of AAGC, Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, number of years back, to the Quad concerns that has been put up in the joint statements. So joint statements between bilaterals also have indicators of multilateral outings. What is important for us to understand is that Japan had a TICAD, that is Tokyo Africa, a platform that they share everything, and this time it was in Yokohama a few weeks back, in which Japan has shown keen interest to invest in Africa. Africa, as we all know, has strong reasons why we should be, because it's a resource-rich continent. It is a developing continent, so there is a lot of places where there can be convergence of interest for both India and Japan. AAGC was promoted in those lines, but for various reasons there has been teething issues, but we assume that now it will take over. As I felt when I saw both the Prime Minister's speech, it shows that there is a lot of convergence of interest between both these countries. What we need to probably now figure out is, if we are going to be working in a third country, or as I say, going beyond the bilaterals, what are the platforms that we can converge? What is the kind of expectations that the third country has over this convergence? I think that connect has to happen to enable us to make things. There are, of course, in Indonesia and Vietnam, we already have examples where we've sort of worked out a little, and I'm sure there would be more such engagements which would show the strength of this bilateral relationship going beyond the bilaterals.
Yes. Let me now go across to my colleague Shubhendu Ghosh, who is covering that India-Japan Business Forum meeting there. Shubhendu, if you could quickly tell us how are those two speeches by the two Prime Ministers received by the business community there and representatives from India as well from business there in Tokyo?
Well, the kind of engagement that we've been having with the business community in Tokyo, both Indian and Japanese companies, it appears, Gautam, that most of the key concerns appear to have been addressed by the two Prime Ministers, particularly in putting forth the vision of partnership, taking forward the partnership really between the two countries. One particular point that Prime Minister Modi mentioned about making a Japan-ready workforce that has been received with particular interest. It's also a message that Prime Minister may be delivering in Tokyo, but a lot of youngsters, talented young people back in India must be listening to that point very keenly. But the Prime Minister, particularly talking about Japan ready, a country-specific workforce to be ready, reference to the language and the skill set as well. That is one area where most businesses have been talking about, that's a gap area that can potentially be filled, and that could in fact be a catalyst to help achieve the other achievement in diverse areas, cooperation, whether it's clean energy, whether it is green hydrogen. When the Prime Minister speaks about nuclear and shipbuilding technology, all of it, these are labor-rich also enterprises where a skilled workforce, the skill coming from India, the manufacturing happening in India with support from Japanese technology, and a role of a partnership. Prime Minister Modi talks about a strategic partnership that we often use that phrase, but also a strategic and smart partnership. And what makes it smart perhaps is to be able to very efficiently recognize the gap areas and areas of opportunity and put the best things together. And that's what it appears the two Prime Ministers are doing in putting the idea forth to the business community, in saying that the strengths of both Indian and Japanese infrastructure are available for the business communities to utilize and take it forward. And Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba making that point towards the conclusion that both governments are committed to supporting the businesses, because that is where those are the people, those are the enterprises who are going to take the growth and development story of this partnership to the next level.
Absolutely. Well, Shubhendu, stay with us. We thank Professor Roy Chaudhary for having joined us with your very intriguing and interesting inputs. Thank you for speaking to us on this special broadcast, and we'll continue the discussion. Let's go across to Ambassador Tayal now. Ambassador, we've seen in a sense a vision statement by the Prime Minister across sectors, but now all focus would be how one does operationalize this, because Professor Chaudhary was earlier speaking of how there has to be complementarity and all countries and all the parties need to be on the same page when it comes to cooperation with the third party here, like the African continent, etc. But if we, for instance, take up the issue of the green energy transition, the Prime Minister spoke of how India is targeting by 2030 500 gigawatt renewable energy target. By 2047, we are looking at 100 gigawatt nuclear energy target. Vis-a-vis Japan, we already have a civil nuclear cooperation agreement. So if you could tell us what are the ways in which this target, for instance, or the target related to green energy transition could be operationalized.
Then there could be perhaps four components. One is the solar energy, where Japan is also a partner in the International Solar Alliance, but somehow all the solar cells, etc., the entire market is with the Chinese companies. So where are the Japanese companies? And in case there is Japanese technology, then India could be a right place for the Japanese to manufacture solar cells to satisfy the very large and growing market of solar cells in India, and also to the other members of the International Solar Alliance. Then the emerging technology on which India has placed a lot of faith, and perhaps other countries also, is the green hydrogen. Physics is there, but technology is yet to be developed, how to miniaturize, how to make it safe, and how to store energy which is produced from renewable sources of energy. And there India has a huge mission. I think 20,000 crore rupees were promised to be invested in this in the previous budget. So India and Japan can work together in development of new technologies, because physics is there. It is clear that it is possible. But how to make technology commercially viable so that the per unit cost of energy produced from green hydrogen is comparable to the per unit cost of energy created by other sources like hydro or nuclear. Then third, on nuclear, India is placing a lot of emphasis. After the disaster in nuclear power station in Japan, Japan has sort of stepped back from large nuclear power plants, but they still have the technology, the reactor vessels and all kinds of components, and they can become a partner with our nuclear power cooperation, so that our target, we have a very ambitious target of domestically producing nuclear energy. I think 20,000 megawatt was mentioned by Honorable Prime Minister. But to be very frank, we do not have the technical capacity and manufacturing capacity. Now, government is very focused that the Nuclear Liability Act, which was preventing foreign companies, whether Japanese or American or French, in participating in India's nuclear power program, that would be amended. Because at present it is that even if the Nuclear Power Corporation of India runs the power plant and a reactor vessel, let us say, comes from Japan or France and something goes wrong, God forbid, then the unlimited liability was placed on the component supplier. And no country in the whole world has that kind of a Nuclear Liability Act, but it happened. And that needs to be amended. And once that is amended, then there is a huge scope for the participation of nuclear power companies of Japan, which do not have orders in Japan at present, to become partners of India's nuclear power program. And
yes, but if I may come here, Ambassador Tayal, Prime Minister also mentioned about India-Japan joint credit agreement. He said that has been reached. So what role could that play in achieving the target?
Joint credit agreement?
Yes. If Shubhendu, if you could come in on this.
Right, Bunbun, in fact, the points that have been mentioned here takes our attention now towards the next big engagement that the two leaders have. That's the 15th annual summit, and where we're expecting one of the big announcements are going to be a significant jump in the investment partnership that India and Japan make. The very ambitious roadmap that both Prime Ministers have presented, Prime Minister Modi in particular, when he talks about the kind of value that India brings in terms of its scale and market, it does require significant investments as well. So the confidence of the Japanese manufacturers industry that has been in fact achieved over the decades, the case study of Suzuki and Toyota also mentioned. So all of this would require capital and money and confidence and partnership in that domain. And that is where I think the next development of the annual summit that takes place later this evening, and what comes out of it, if it does in fact address that concern of the investment deficit that developing countries have to tackle with, especially in the times of the tariff diplomacy that countries like India and Japan are facing. If that big announcement comes, then it does put, and if we connect the dots, so to say, it does appear that these are not just ambitions, but the roadmap could in fact be realized with real money also coming in.
Let's also recount some of the experts' significant parts of Prime Minister Modi's speech there at the joint forum. Now, the PM said India and Japan's partnership is strategic and smart and powered by economic logic. We have turned shared interests into shared prosperity.
And Japan's partnership is strategic and smart, powered by economic logic. We have turned shared interest into shared prosperity. India is the springboard for Japanese businesses to the global south. Together, we will shape the Asian century for stability.
Also said that the technology of Japan and the talent of India can together lead the technological revolution of this century.
जापान टेक पावर हाउस है और भारत एक टैलेंट पावर हाउस है। भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं।
The Prime Minister also mentioned the kind of space that Japanese auto giants like Suzuki and Toyota have in the Indian market now in manufacturing as well. And he said that together, again referring to manufacturing, he said we can replicate the magic that was created in the auto sector. And he mentioned batteries, robotics, semiconductors, shipbuilding, even nuclear energy. Take a look.
भारत तेजी से 2030 तक 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है। हमने 2047 तक 100 गीगावाट न्यूक्लियर पावर का भी लक्ष्य रखा है। सोलर सेल्स हो या फिर ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, साझेदारी की अपार संभावनाएं हैं। भारत और जापान के बीच जॉइंट क्रेडिट मैकेनिज्म पर समझौता हुआ है। इसका लाभ उठाकर क्लीन और ग्रीन फ्यूचर के निर्माण में सहयोग किया जा सकता है।
And Subimal Bhattacharjee, a columnist on foreign affairs, is now joining us in the studio. Welcome,
He wears many hats,
Subimal.
Cybersecurity as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so of course, all that will come handy today. Well, Subimal, you know, your thoughts on how the vision statement can be operationalized. It's a vision statement cutting across sectors. The Prime Minister, like we just heard, spoke of how the kind of progress that India and Japan have seen together in the automotive sector can be replicated in batteries, space and other sectors as well.
Thank you, Munmun. I think the Prime Minister himself has laid the ground for, how we take the relationship forward. He just mentioned about technology from Japan and talent from India. Now, if you think this match is absolutely just I would say so pertinent at this point of time when India has taken the leap in manufacturing and particularly in areas of strategic interest. You just mentioned about batteries, robotics, semiconductor, artificial intelligence. Now these are all the sectors in which
right,
sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, we have to go in for a live broadcast at the moment to Vigyan Bhavan in the National Capital, Delhi, where the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is speaking at the presentation of Scope Eminence Awards for the year 2022-23.
के आप सभी सदस्यों के बीच उपस्थित होकर मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। ये पुरस्कार उत्कृष्टता के विभिन्न आयामों पर असाधारण उपलब्धियों और विशिष्ट योगदान के लिए प्रदान किए जाते हैं। इसलिए आज के सभी पुरस्कार विजेताओं को मैं हार्दिक बधाई देती हूँ। मुझे ये जानकर प्रसन्नता हो रही है कि सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के मार्गदर्शन देने में डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस में की भूमिका होती है। इसके लिए मैं वित्त राज्य मंत्री श्री पंकज चौधरी जी तथा डीपीई की पूरी टीम की सराहना करती हूँ। इस बात में भी प्रभावित हुई हूँ कि बदलते हुए एंटरप्राइज परफॉर्मेंस इकोसिस्टम के साथ स्कोप एमिनेंस अवार्ड स्कीम का समन्वय किया गया है। एंटरप्राइजेस के होलिस्टिक इवैल्यूएशन के कई आयाम महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है। सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, इन्वायरमेंटल, टेक्नोलॉजिकल तथा एथिकल सभी पैरामीटर्स पर अच्छा प्रदर्शन करना एक अच्छे एंटरप्राइज की पहचान होती है, एक अच्छे एंटरप्राइज लीडर की विशेषता होती है। मैं ऐसे एंटरप्राइजेस की तथा एंटरप्राइज लीडर्स की विशेष सराहना करती हूँ। स्कोप द्वारा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, कॉरपोरेट गवर्नेंस, कॉरपोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तथा इनोवेशन जैसे अनेक आयामों पर अच्छे प्रदर्शन के लिए पुरस्कार प्रदान करने की योजना प्रगति और विकास के प्रति समग्र दृष्टिकोण का परिचय देती है। ऐसे दृष्टिकोण के अनुसार उत्कृष्ट प्रदर्शन को प्रोत्साहित करने की प्रयास की मैं सराहना करती हूँ। मुझे बताया गया है कि सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के संस्थानों तथा उनकी लीडरशिप को मान्यता देने हेतु तो स्कोप अवार्ड्स के आयोजनों की एक सराहनीय परंपरा रही है। इस परंपरा को नई सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं स्कोप की सराहना करती हूँ। स्कोप एमिनेंस अवार्ड के निर्णायक मंडल के अध्यक्ष भारत के भूतपूर्व मुख्य न्यायाधीश श्री टी.एस. ठाकुर एवं अन्य सदस्यों ने निष्पक्षता और सूझबूझ के साथ पुरस्कार विजेताओं का चयन किया है। इसके लिए मैं पूरी चयन समिति को बहुत बहुत सराहना करती हूँ। देवी और स्वजनों, स्वाधीनता के बाद से पब्लिक सेक्टर आर्थिक विकास और सामाजिक समावेश का एक शक्तिशाली माध्यम रहा है। पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस ने उद्योगीकरण, बुनियादी ढांचे के विकास, सामाजिक उत्थान और संतुलित क्षेत्रीय विकास की आधारशिला तैयार की थी। समय के साथ इन एंटरप्राइजेस का विकास हुआ, इनमें बदलाव भी आया। सरकार और समाज की पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस से अपेक्षाएं भी बदली। ये खुशी की बात है कि इन सभी परिवर्तनों के बीच सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के उद्यम अपने प्रदर्शन से आर्थिक तथा राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। मुझे बताया गया है कि रेवेन्यू और प्रॉफिट के महत्वपूर्ण फाइनेंशियल पैरामीटर्स पर पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस ने निरंतर प्रगति की है। आंकड़े से ये स्पष्ट होती है कि 3/4 से अधिक सेंट्रल पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस प्रॉफिट मेकिंग है। पिछले 10 वर्षों के दौरान पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस का सेंटर एक्सचेकर को योगदान कई गुना बढ़ा है। पिछले दशक में सेंट्रल पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस के नेट प्रॉफिट में भी बहुत अधिक वृद्धि हुई है। इस प्रकार कुल मिलाकर सरकार ने सार्वजनिक उद्यमों में भी निवेश किए हैं, उनके लाभकारी परिणाम मिलते रहे हैं। आर्थिक और वित्तीय योगदान के अलावा इन उद्यमों द्वारा संतुलित और समावेशी विकास को प्राथमिकता दी गई है। राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्यों को सर्वोपरि रखा गया है। सार्वजनिक उद्यमों की भूमिका और योगदान को देखते हुए ये कहना सर्वथा उचित है कि पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस रे कैटलिस्ट ऑफ ग्रोथ एंड पिलर्स ऑफ प्रॉस्पेरिटी फॉर द नेशन एंड इट्स पीपल। इन आयामों ने गवर्नेंस और ट्रांसपेरेंसी के अनेक अच्छे मॉडल्स और एग्जाम्पल्स प्रस्तुत किए हैं। मुझे ये जानकर खुशी हुई है कि सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के उद्यम अपने एम्पावरमेंट का विवेकपूर्ण उपयोग कर रहे हैं तथा राष्ट्रीय विकास में और अधिक योगदान दे रहे हैं। आत्मनिर्भर भारत के निर्माण की दिशा में CPSEs प्रभावशाली भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। मेक इन इंडिया के राष्ट्रीय अभियान में वे महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे रहे हैं। स्वदेशी उत्पादन क्षमता के विकास में पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस सराहनीय प्रकाश कर रहे हैं। ये संदर्भ में डिफेंस सेक्टर का मैं विशेष उल्लेख करना चाहूंगी। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर आतंकवाद के विरुद्ध मानवता के विजय का एक स्वर्णिम अध्याय है। इस ऑपरेशन में आतंकी ठिकानों को नष्ट करने के साथ साथ भारत पर हमले के प्रयासों को पूरी तरह नाकाम कर दिया गया है। आकाश तीर नामक पूरी तरह से भारत में निर्मित एयर डिफेंस कंट्रोल एंड रिपोर्टिंग सिस्टम ने अचूक क्षमता का परिचय दिया। इस सिस्टम के निर्माण में पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस की भूमिका रही है। ये पब्लिक सेक्टर फ्रेटर्निटी के लिए विशेष गर्व की बात है। राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा में सेल्फ रिलायंट इनोवेशन तथा भारत की बढ़ती हुई टेक्निकी आत्मनिर्भरता में सार्वजनिक उद्यमों का योगदान सिद्ध हुआ है। एग्रीकल्चर, माइनिंग एंड एक्सप्लोरेशन, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, प्रोसेसिंग एंड जेनरेशन तथा सर्विसेज के महत्वपूर्ण क्षेत्रों में पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस ने अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। स्वदेशी और आत्मनिर्भरता के सिद्धांतों पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस के मूल मंत्र रही है। देश के सम्मुख आने वाले चुनौतियों का सामना करने में सार्वजनिक क्षेत्रों के उद्यमों ने सदैव अग्रणी योगदान दिया है। ये कहा जा सकता है कि कॉम्पिटिटिव होने के साथ साथ सार्वजनिक उद्यमों राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि की भावना के साथ आगे बढ़ते रहे हैं और वे इसी तरह आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। देवियों और स्वजनों, वुमेनली डेवलपमेंट के बढ़ावा देना हमारी राष्ट्रीय प्राथमिकताओं में से एक है। आउटस्टैंडिंग वुमेन लीडरशिप अवार्ड के द्वारा वुमेन प्रोफेशनल्स को प्रोत्साहित करने के प्रयास के लिए स्कोप की जितनी भी सराहना की जाए वो कम है। किसी भी क्षेत्र में अपनी पहचान बनाने के लिए महिलाओं को अनेक चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ता है। इसलिए आज पुरस्कार प्राप्त करने वाले वुमेन लीडर्स को मैं विशेष प्रशंसा करती हूँ, लेकिन वुमेन लीडर्स की अन्य वुमेन लीडर्स से तुलना करने की सोच से आगे बढ़ने की जरूरत है। देश के सभी संस्थानों और व्यक्तियों को इस सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ना होगा कि एक्सेलेंस इन जेंडर न्यूट्रल वुमेन लीडर्स के compete for excellence without any special weightage or category। इंडिविजुअल लीडरशिप एक्सेलेंस अवार्ड कैटेगरी में आज वुमेन प्रोफेशनल्स के कमेंडेशन फ्लैग प्रदान किया गया है। मैं आशा करती हूं कि भविष्य में उन्हें अवार्ड प्रदान करके उनकी योग्यता का समुचित सम्मान किया जाएगा। आज महिलाएं अवसर दिए जाने की प्रतीक्षा नहीं कर रही हैं, वे स्वयं अपने लिए अवसर पैदा कर रही हैं। महिलाएं नेतृत्व प्रदान कर रही हैं। वर्ष 2047 तक विकसित भारत का निर्माण करने के राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने में CPSEs की महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहेगी। CPSEs समुदाय के आप सभी सदस्यों में से अपेक्षा रखे जाता है कि आपकी सभी निर्णय राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए समर्पित होंगे। आपके सभी कार्यों नैतिकता और पर आधारित होगी तथा आपकी सोच संवेदनशील और समाज सेवा से प्रेरित होंगे। मुझे विश्वास है कि भारत को आत्मनिर्भर आर्थिक महाशक्ति बनाने में पब्लिक सेक्टर फ्रेटर्निटी की निर्णायक भूमिका रहेगी। मैं सभी सेंट्रल पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस के स्वर्णिम भविष्य की मंगल कामना करती हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
So President of India Draupadi Murmu was speaking at the presentation of Scope Eminence Awards for the year 2022-23 in Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. And let's now continue our discussion on our special broadcast, India-Japan, a time-tested friendship, at a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Japan on his 8th visit to Japan for the 15th annual summit between him and his Japanese counterpart, Shigeru Ishiba. Subimal Bhattacharya continues to be with us. Subimal, we were talking of how operationally the replication could work, the success in the auto sector to new sectors like batteries, shipbuilding, robotics, nuclear energy, to name a few.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what is very clear right now is that, in the emerging geopolitics that is there, and particularly when India has made rapid strides in the strategic sector in terms of technology deployment, factoring in AI, getting into hardcore semiconductors and manufacturing of electronic components. I think there are a lot of success stories here to give the confidence that we have a skilled workforce and we are having that ecosystem to bring in more talent and thus skilled workforce. And that is where the Prime Minister's emphasis was also there when he was mentioning about Indian talents. Already in the Japanese ecosystem, about 25,000 Indians are either working or doing some research. Some amount of activity is happening in this. So, how do we take this forward in a more optimal relationship? I think this is very, very crucial. Prime Minister mentioned about the $40 billion investments from the Japanese side so far till now. There are indications that for the next 10 years, about $60 billion would be invested from the Japanese side in India. Now, there are a lot of areas in which Japanese technology, which is absolutely proven and precision guided, whether it is the railways, whether it is in the field of silicon, I think all of those can be harnessed with our internal needs, our capacity to be able to be seen as a reliable partner in the global south, to which we went very well with our DPI initiative during the G20 presidency. In this region where we both of us have a strategic interest, I think we will be able to build something better. And one thing I must tell here very clearly, that the Japanese people right up to the government, they are very, very friendly towards India always. There's a lot of interest in Japan about the cultural aspects also in India. I've done a film, I've seen the love and respect that people in remote corners of Japan have provided to us. So I think all of that taken together, and they have an aging population, they look at newer areas, and India happens to be one of the countries where they look at it. So from a strategic point of view, from a tactical point of view, this is the time to build up and grow, and this is where the Prime Minister is absolutely harnessing on the right spots.
And the thrust remains on investment, where Prime Minister Modi mentioned that India is undertaking now next generation reforms, not just confined to taxes, not just GST 2.0, but other kinds of areas as well, where there's a single digital window clearance, there is approval that is being done for Japanese companies as well. There is rationalization of compliances. High-level committee has also been set up for deregulation. We've opened space in defense to the private sector. Nuclear energy sector has also been opened up. So all this must be music to the ears of the Japanese investors in industry. But are there areas that need to be further looked at to ensure that the ease of investment is further enhanced?
Yeah, Gautam, I think you have hit the nail right. The Japanese companies and the overall Japanese culture, be it Six Sigma or otherwise, is very, very focused, and they go absolutely according to the steps and all. So let's assume a company like Uniqlo, which has now become very popular in India in the garment sector. before they choose a partner and all, they would do meticulous hard work about that, how the process will go on, what happens.
And Uniqlo is supposed to be increasing its sourcing from India now.
Absolutely, and India has become one of the very big markets very quickly. So now these are the kind of comfort that we have to give. The Prime Minister has rightly announced this, but on the ground we have to see that the implementation of the ease of business doing at various sectors has to be improved. I'll give you some examples. The Japanese have come and invested in the infrastructure in northeast of India. This is one country which is trying to see that the ASEAN influence in the northeast increases, and the steps are in road, sector constructions, in bridge building, in water supply schemes, in so many other areas of infrastructure quality development across the northeast. They have invested. Northeast is new into the, you can say, the industrial game. All these years, many different movements have kept the progress away, but the Prime Minister has very clearly invested in the northeast right from the day one he has been there, and he has been very successfully able to convince the Japanese also to go and invest there. Now, very many times, they think that something could have been even better, some processes could have been better, the state governments can do a better job in terms of facilitation and all. So I think implementation would be very important, because Northeast is a strategic interest for India, and if with the usage of Japanese money, with the usage of Japanese technology, if we are able to lift that region also up and make it into a major part of the Act East policy that again assiduously the government has been pushing, this would be a great success story. So I think collectively everyone has a role, right from the union government to the state governments to the individual businessmen and all, to focus on how to build up this partnership far much more clearer and better.
Absolutely. We'll leave it at that. So, Vimal Bhattacharya, thank you so much for joining us with your views. Also, Shobindu, it seems that the stage is now set with a futuristic vision already announced in the economic domain, in all the domains now going ahead as the 15th annual summit takes place. In a few hours from now, we'll keep coming back to you for more updates as developments take place. For now, that's it in this special broadcast, India-Japan, a time-tested friendship. I and Gautam take your leave. Namaskar.
Thank you for watching. Lots to unfold yet on the day as far as Prime Minister Modi's visit to Japan is concerned. We will be tracking that very closely for everyone. Thanks for watching for the moment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this special press briefing by Foreign Secretary Sri Vikram Misri on the ongoing visit of the Prime Minister of India to Japan for the 15th annual summit. We are also joined by our ambassador to Japan, Sri C.B. George, as also Joint Secretary East Asia in the Ministry of External Affairs, Sri Gauranglal Das. Before I give the mic to Foreign Secretary to brief you on today's developments, when you ask your question, when we give the floor to you, please do identify yourself and your organization, and then you can ask your question. With that, I give the floor to Foreign Secretary for his opening remarks. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ranveer. Good evening, all. It's relatively late hour in Tokyo for briefing, but glad you could all make it. As you all know, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Japan for the 15th annual summit with Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Prime Minister is accompanied by a high-level delegation as well as a business delegation. The Prime Minister arrived in Tokyo early this morning and received a very warm and festive welcome by the government and people of Japan, as well as the representatives of the Indian community here in Tokyo. The first engagement following his arrival was in the afternoon, which was the India-Japan Economic Forum, which was attended jointly by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Ishiba. Both of them addressed the captains of Indian and Japanese industry. This was followed by a few meetings between the Prime Minister and senior and leading political personalities of Japan. Former Prime Ministers Suga and Kishida called on the Prime Minister and discussed issues of mutual interest relating to the bilateral relationship and regional and global developments. This evening, the Prime Minister was received by Prime Minister Ishiba at Kantei, and the two leaders spent nearly 2.5 hours together, during which they held delegation-level talks and witnessed the exchange of agreements and understandings between the two sides, addressed the press, and Prime Minister Ishiba then hosted a dinner for Prime Minister Modi. Overall, I would say that the message emanating from the visit and the understandings that have been reached between the two sides is very, very clear. Japan today is one of India's most valued and trusted friends. It is a partner for us in our journey towards Viksit and Atmanirbhar Bharat, a developed and self-reliant India. The fundamentals of our partnership remain strong. Both countries have made giant strides since our ties were elevated to a special strategic and global partnership in 2014. In addition to bilateral issues, the two prime ministers also discussed the regional and global situation, and it was clear that in the midst of considerable geopolitical flux, the ties between India and Japan remain a pillar of stability in the international system. The highlight of the visit is definitely the very broad range of outcomes, which you would probably already be familiar with by now, but these are outcomes that I would characterize as steering the relationship into the next decade, and in many ways laying the foundations for progress and prosperity of the next generation of people from both India and Japan. So allow me to take you through the most important outcomes that we have seen today. Both leaders today exchanged the joint vision for the next decade. This is a 10-year strategic roadmap in economic and functional cooperation between the two sides. This happens to be the 8th decade of our diplomatic ties, and in order to give new vigor to the relationship, both governments have decided to advance cooperation across 8 pillars. And these pillars are economic relations, economic security, mobility, ecological sustainability, technology and innovation, health, people-to-people exchanges, and partnerships between Indian states and Japanese prefectures. The other document that I would invite your attention to is the Joint Declaration on Security Cooperation. This is an enabling framework for India and Japan to better respond to contemporary security challenges. As you're aware, security cooperation between our two countries has been growing steadily over the last few years. The Joint Declaration now puts a framework around this cooperation. An important feature of this particular document is the broad concept of security that it embodies, which includes cooperation on cybersecurity, counterterrorism, defense industry, research and development, and closer cooperation on security issues in multilateral groupings. One of the new features of the security engagement between the two countries will be an institutionalized dialogue for the first time between the national security advisors of the two countries, as well as greater engagement between the joint staffs of the two countries. On a third aspect, there is an Indian diaspora in Japan, but the mechanics of how to leverage this better has been a subject of discussion between both governments, and we find that one of the outcomes of these discussions is the discovery of a natural complementarity between the two sides of what it is that India can provide at this point in time and what it is that Japanese society, Japanese economy, Japanese business needs at this point in time. So Japan has a dynamic economy, but also faces a labor shortage in certain specific sectors. And India has a large pool of skilled and semi-skilled personnel who can fill the need in precisely some of these sectors in Japan. And therefore, I am happy to share that the two sides today concluded an important action plan on human resource exchange, which sets a headline number of two-way exchange of people of 500,000 over the next 5 years, including 50,000 skilled and semi-skilled personnel from India to Japan. We have also issued a joint statement titled "A Partnership for Security and Prosperity for our Next Generation," and you can find this on the website of the Ministry of External Affairs. Both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to a free and open and inclusive Indo-Pacific that is peaceful, prosperous, and resilient. Prime Minister Ishiba reaffirmed that Japan stands with India on the issue of cross-border terrorism. Business linkages lie at the heart of our partnership. Several Japanese companies have had enormous success in India, and Prime Minister recalled this while addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum this afternoon, and he deeply appreciated the role of the private sector and industry in bringing our two countries closer together for the mutual benefit and prosperity of our two nations. You're familiar with the investment target from Japan to India that was set some time back of 5 trillion yen. Today, it was decided to set a new target of 10 trillion Japanese yen investment, or $67 billion of private investment into India. At the business forum, which was held yesterday, the private sector also announced several MOUs and agreements. I think there were about 150 MOUs that have been inked in the last 2 years since the last summit in sectors such as automotive, energy, aerospace, semiconductors, and human resources. And the cumulative value of these MOUs and business partnerships is over $13 billion, which is reflective once again of the confidence that the business pillar has in our relationship. Turning to a couple of other aspects of the outcomes today, supply chain resilience is a subject that both countries have been discussing for some time. There is an understanding between the two of us that there is a need to collaborate more, especially on the strategic sectors of our economy. In view of this, both sides launched an economic security initiative, which identifies 5 priority sectors which will receive concentrated attention from the two sides. These sectors are semiconductors, critical minerals, pharmaceuticals, information and communication technology, especially telecommunications, and clean energy. We have issued an economic security fact sheet, which can be seen on our website as well, which captures certain ongoing collaborations as well as planned collaborations, which will contribute to resilient and diversified supply chains for both of our countries. We are living in the age of artificial intelligence, and both leaders therefore recognized that AI is a revolutionary technology that is poised to transform our societies and economies. Both the Prime Ministers launched the Japan-India Artificial Intelligence Initiative, which will strengthen collaboration on AI, particularly on things like large language models, data centers, and AI governance. Prime Minister also invited Prime Minister Ishiba for the AI Impact Summit, which India is hosting in February 2026. Both the Prime Ministers today acknowledged that we need to celebrate and also intensify the partnership that is blooming between our states and prefectures, and decided to launch the India Kansai Business Forum and the India Kyushu Business Forum to infuse greater energy into our business linkages at the grassroots level. In a unique interaction, tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister Modi will address the governors of several Japanese prefectures here in Tokyo tomorrow, and invite them to develop partnerships with India. The two sides also today concluded a range of MOUs in sectors such as clean energy, critical minerals, digital technologies, space, cultural exchanges, environment, and diplomatic training. And here, before I close, I would like to mention 4 of these agreements in particular. I think it total is more than a dozen, but I would like to highlight 4 agreements. The first is the implementing arrangement for the landmark collaboration between the Indian Space Research Organization and JAXA on the Chandrayaan-5 mission. This was exchanged in front of our leaders today. The critical mineral sector is a big priority, as I said. Japan has advanced technologies and India has resources. The Memorandum of Cooperation on Mineral Resources, which was concluded today, will lead to much more meaningful cooperation in this strategic sector. Thirdly, the joint crediting mechanism will promote Japanese investments into India and contribute to reduction of greenhouse gas emission, as well as help in India's energy transition. And finally, the India-Japan Digital Partnership 2.0 will strengthen our collaboration in digital public infrastructure, digital talent, and joint R&D in futuristic technologies. You can see a full list of these MOUs on the website of the Ministry of External Affairs. Both leaders also positively appraised the progress that is being made on the flagship Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project and resolved to continue cooperation for the success of the project. They also launched the Next Generation Mobility Partnership, which would leverage the strength of Indian talent and Japanese technology in the infrastructure, logistics, and mobility sector, particularly railways, aviation, ports, and shipping. Tomorrow, as is tradition during the annual summit, the two prime ministers will together travel out of Tokyo. Tomorrow, they will visit Sendai in Miyagi Prefecture. Prime Minister will also visit the Tokyo Electron Factory, which is one of the world's leading semiconductor equipment manufacturing firms. And Prime Minister Ishiba will host lunch for Prime Minister Modi in Sendai itself before the Prime Minister leaves for the next leg of his visit. So once again, to sum up, I think the objective and the ambition of this visit has been to infuse much higher levels of aspiration and momentum into our special strategic and global partnership. And really this summit has been about greater ambition, a stronger and clearer vision, and a reaffirmation of the strength of the all-important India-Japan partnership. Let me stop there and I'll try and answer a few questions. Thank you.
The floor is open, so please. Yeah, we have a question right behind, yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from DD India. There is a reference to a joint crediting mechanism. Could you simplify what does that entail? Thank you.
Any more questions? Yeah, Kiran.
Hi, sir. Could you please specify what are the areas where the 10 trillion yen Japanese investment is supposed to go? And secondly, was there any discussion on the quadrilateral security dialogue, given that India is supposed to be holding this summit later this year, and both India and Japan are the key partners in the grouping? Thank you.
Sarjana, please do announce please announce yourself, your name and as also your
नमस्कार
organization.
सर, मैं सर्जना शर्मा हूँ सनमार्ग न्यूज़पेपर से। मेरा क्वेश्चन फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी सर से। सर, जलवायु परिवर्तन पर एक समझौता हुआ और ये आज पूरी दुनिया के लिए बहुत चिंता का विषय है, तरह तरह की फ्लड, गर्मी। तो इसमें क्या मैकेनिज्म भारत और जापान इसमें डेवलप करेंगे ताकि इस नेचर डिजास्टर से निपटा जा सके?
You have a question there. Yeah, please.
नमस्कार सर, मैं
please the question. Plus, yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And I correspondent. My name is Itagaki, and so I have one question. In the beginning of meeting and also in the press conference, the Mr. Modi mentioned about the strong relationship between Indian state and Japanese municipal government. So that is a little bit big surprise for most of Japanese media. And so also now explained about the tomorrow the relationship will be strengthened by Mr. Modi. So I want to know about this kind of relationship living from government, Japanese municipal government, and also Indian state. The relationship will be strengthened, and also I'd like to know about tomorrow's treatment to strong it. Can I expect your answer? Thank you so much.
You can take sir one question there.
नमस्कार,
पीछे बोलिए आप.
नमस्कार सर, मैं ओम अवस्थी हूँ आकाशवाणी समाचार से। आपने सर जापान डिजिटल पार्टनरशिप 2.0 की बात की, उसके तहत किस तरह के कदम उठाए जाएंगे, उस पर थोड़ी जानकारी दें।
Sir, we'll come back for more questions.
So this शुभेंदु's question on the joint crediting mechanism, मेरे विचार में शायद सर्जना आपका सवाल भी इसी को लेके है, क्योंकि जलवायु परिवर्तन को लेके जो समझौता हुआ है वो यही joint crediting mechanism का समझौता हुआ है. तो the joint crediting mechanism is essentially an instrument to facilitate the diffusion of decarbonizing technologies, products, systems, and infrastructure, essentially allowing Japanese companies that make investments in these fields in India it'll help us, of course, in India to meet our greenhouse gas emission reduction goals and promote Japanese investment in India as well. It allows the crediting mechanism allows the two governments to jointly account for carbon reducing measures, and it creates another avenue for green investment by Japanese entities into India. Insofar as the question on the 10 trillion yen investment is concerned, look, we have not set or connected any particular areas to this investment. As you are aware, the investment is eventually going to be made by private companies, and private companies will decide the areas most suited. But if you look at everything else that we have done during the course of this visit, for instance, the areas that I highlighted insofar as the economic security initiative is concerned, or the 8 pillars of the joint vision document, I think you have a fair idea of where the investment is likely to be directed. On the issue of the Quad, yes, both Prime Ministers noted that it was an important forum for discussions and agreed to remain in close touch on this particular issue. With regard to the question on engagement between states and prefectures, this is something that we have similar mechanisms with other countries where relationships are encouraged either between cities or provinces through agreement, of course, between the national governments. It helps in promoting tourism, promoting cultural exchanges, promoting people-to-people exchanges, and above all, it can also help in business promotion between the two countries. So this is what the intention is. Our ambassador here has been working on and promoting the connection between states in India and prefectures in Japan. If I'm not mistaken, you've been to every single prefecture in Japan. So he is very well equipped to drive this cooperation. But yes, tomorrow's event is going to be a very, very unique event when the Prime Minister will have the opportunity to address a group of governors from these prefectures, and I'm sure that there'll be some very good ideas that will come out of this interaction.
Okay. So there was a question about digital 2.0.
Digital partnership. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Digital Partnership 2.0 is essentially to take forward our existing partnership in this area. A lot of it will involve talent in the digital field, as well as promoting engagement between enterprises, business enterprises of the two sides that are specifically focused on the digital space. We have agreed to cooperate in digital public infrastructure, for instance, and going forward, there is going to be a lot of cooperation on AI between the two sides as part of the India-Japan joint vision on AI. So I would imagine that the Digital Partnership 2.0 will cover a lot of these areas as well.
Okay. We have a question here.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kenji. I'm with Japan Forward. I have a question for Mr. Secretary Misery. The Joint Security Declaration this afternoon mentions deepening Quad Alliance, and you also mentioned about how the two countries reaffirmed free and open Indo-Pacific. How do you think the intensifying trade tension with Washington and India will impact these sort of security architecture in East Asia? And how does India seek to balance its relationship between Beijing and Washington?
You have a question right behind.
सर नमस्ते, मैं अरुण हूँ डीडी न्यूज़ से। सवाल मेरा ये है कि जब दो लीडर्स मिले थे तो यूएस टैरिफ्स को लेकर के कोई जिक्र हुआ था, क्योंकि जब सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन की बात करते हैं और एक तरह से पूरी दुनिया से प्रभावित है जो टैरिफ्स लगाए गए हैं, तो क्या इसका जिक्र हुआ दोनों लीडर्स के बीच में सर?
Please.
I'm Iwata from Sankei Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. Did Prime Ministers discuss U.S. tariff issue?
You have a question there, yes.
मेरा नाम पूनम है, मैं INS मीडिया से हूँ। सर मेरा सवाल भी टैरिफ को लेकर है कि क्या बातचीत हुई है, क्योंकि जापान नेगोशिएटर का भी जाना कैंसिल हो गया है, तो क्या स्टैंड इंडिया के साथ है?
ठीक। Last question there behind, yes.
Sir, you talked about Chandrayaan Mission 5.
अपना नाम बताइए।
Sir, I'm Rajneesh from ANI. So, what kind of technological support is expected from Japan? Can you just elaborate on it?
Yeah. Okay. I think the first question was primarily on the joint declaration on security cooperation between the two countries, and then I think there were a number of other issues that you brought into that question. So insofar as the joint declaration on security cooperation is concerned, obviously the idea is to take forward the engagement that is there between the two sides right now to contribute to each other's defense readiness and capabilities through the existing channels of engagement between the two sides. We also have shared goals in maritime security. There is a very robust program of defense industrial cooperation between the two sides. We also want to work closer together on combating traditional and non-traditional threats, and to engage more closely in exchanging views on developing security threats in both regions. Now, the joint declaration will obviously help put an institutional framework around all of these discussions, and we look forward to this particular engagement with Japan. You referred to tensions, other tensions. I think at this point in time, our discussion with Japan is about our bilateral issues. We were not discussing issues between either one of us and any third country, and therefore I would not be in a position to talk about the impact of issues between two other capitals that are not in the room today. Today's discussions were more about, as I said, the broad vision for the India-Japan relationship, what we are doing together. Naturally, what is happening in the rest of the world is discussed, but today's focus remained squarely on our bilateral cooperation. I think all the other questions really are related to the tariff issue and whether tariffs being imposed were discussed between the two of us. I can share with you that both the Prime Ministers exchanged views on the global situation, the impact that some of these moves have had, and how that essentially creates the ground and the logic for closer cooperation between India and Japan, especially in the field of business, the economy, supply chains, making them more resilient, diversifying our resource bases and our supply chains as well. So that was the thrust of the conversation today. Insofar as Chandrayaan 5 is concerned, the Chandrayaan 5 is also known as the LUPEX mission, the Lunar Polar Expedition. It's a very special mission. It will build on India's successful landing on the south pole of the moon, and the idea is to look together for signs that might support human habitation on the moon. But our space collaboration is not just limited to this one expedition, but it also includes plans to explore other planets together by synergizing our strengths. And the Chandrayaan 5 LUPEX mission will be a major short-term milestone in India's own lunar odyssey, lunar exploration odyssey, which also incidentally envisions Indian astronauts landing on the moon by the year 2040. So the signing of the implementation arrangement today will fast-track progress on this particular issue in the coming times. Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this press briefing. Thank you very much for your presence. Arigato. Good afternoon, friends. I welcome you to this special press briefing by Foreign Secretary Shri Vikram Mishri and Secretary West Shri Tanmay Lal on Prime Minister's upcoming visit to Japan for the annual summit and to China for the SCO summit. With that, I invite Foreign Secretary Sir to make his opening remarks. But before that, I would like to remind the audience that this particular press briefing is on Japan and to China for SCO summit. So please focus your questions on these two particular aspects of the visit only. Thank you. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Randir. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. Today, as you are aware, the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, is embarking on an official visit to Japan on the evening of 28th August. He will be in Japan on the 29th and the 30th of August for holding the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit with the Prime Minister of Japan, His Excellency Shigeru Ishiba. This is a significant visit for several reasons. It's Prime Minister Modi's first annual summit with Prime Minister Ishiba. It is also his first standalone visit to Japan in nearly 7 years. He last visited for the annual summit in 2018. Since then, of course, he has visited Japan, but that has been for multilateral engagements and other ceremonial events. So this will be a visit that will be fully dedicated to the bilateral agenda between India and Japan. This is also Prime Minister's 8th visit to Japan since he took office in 2014, and reflects the very high priority that this particular relationship has in our foreign relations. The annual summit between India and Japan, as you would be aware, represents the highest level dialogue mechanism that exists between the two countries, and it drives the agenda of the India-Japan Special Strategic and Global Partnership. Prime Minister has met Prime Minister Ishiba of Japan on previous occasions on the sidelines of international events. They first met, I think, it was in Vientiane on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit, and more recently on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Canada in June of this year. These discussions during these events will be taken forward during the annual summit in Tokyo on the 29th of August. India and Japan are two countries that share values, trust, and strategic outlook on several issues. They are two of Asia's leading democracies and amongst the top 5 world economies. Our bilateral relations have expanded steadily in scope and ambition over the last decade, and today comprise trade and investment, defense and security, science and technology, infrastructure and mobility, people-to-people contact, and vibrant cultural engagement between the two sides. So the 15th summit will give both Prime Ministers the opportunity to do an in-depth review of these ties, take stock of progress in the last few years across multiple domains, and of course, as is usual, exchange views on regional and global issues of importance. This will also be an opportunity to launch several new initiatives in order to build greater resilience in the relationship and to respond to emerging opportunities and challenges. One of the features of the annual summit between India and Japan is an engagement between the two leaders outside the capital, and on this occasion as well, the program includes a visit outside Tokyo, which is again going to be something to look forward to for the two leaders. The program also includes interactions of the Prime Minister with several other political leaders from Japan, as also with friends of India in Japan. The Prime Minister will also participate in a business leaders forum with captains of Japanese and Indian industry. These interactions are aimed at deepening the very important trade, investment, and technology relationship between the two countries. We have also seen in recent years an intensification of the engagement between Indian states and Japanese prefectures, and an engagement focused on this particular aspect has also been planned for during the visit. Overall, the visit will consolidate our long-standing friendship. It will open fresh avenues of cooperation and reaffirm our shared commitment to peace, prosperity, and stability, both for the two countries as well as in our shared Indo-Pacific region and beyond. Let me stop there, and I'll turn the microphone over to my colleague, Secretary West, to brief you on Prime Minister's visit to Tianjin for the SCO summit.
Thank you. Namaskar. I will now share some information about the upcoming SCO summit. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will visit Tianjin, China for the 25th meeting of the Council of Heads of State of the Shanghai Cooperation Council, the SCO, on 31st August and 1st September 2025 at the invitation of His Excellency President Xi Jinping of China. The SCO was established with the primary goal of countering three evils of terrorism, separatism, and extremism, which continue to remain a challenge. Today, as a regional platform, there is a broader range of sectors of cooperation among the SCO members. The SCO comprises 10 members. In addition to India, they include Belarus, China, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. There are a number of dialogue partners and observers also. India has been a member of the SCO since 2017, and earlier it was an observer since 2005. During the period of its membership, India has held the chair of the SCO Council of Heads of Government in 2020 and of the SCO Council of Heads of State during 2022-2023. India engages actively with various institutional processes and mechanisms of the SCO and participates in the ministerial meetings and other dialogue formats. Prime Minister Shri Modi has participated in various previous SCO summits in 2018 in Qingdao, 2019 in Bishkek, 2020 in Moscow in virtual format, 2021 in Dushanbe in virtual format, 2022 in Tashkent, 2023 New Delhi virtual format, and in 2024 Astana Summit, External Affairs Minister had represented the Prime Minister. The theme of the 23rd SCO Summit, which was chaired by Prime Minister Modi, was towards a secure SCO. And here the secure stands for security, economy and trade, connectivity, unity, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, and environment. So this gives an idea of the range of issues that are of priority for India in the SCO. During India's presidency in 2023, SCO had adopted a joint statement on cooperation on countering radicalization leading to separatism, extremism, and terrorism. During the presidency, India had also focused on a very broad-based and diverse areas of cooperation that are of interest to SCO members. These practical areas of cooperation include, for instance, startups and innovation, traditional medicine, youth empowerment, digital inclusion, and shared Buddhist heritage. Earlier in 2020, India had hosted the Startup Forum and established a working group on this important area. A conclave of young scientists had been organized, which has now become a regular mechanism. The first ever meeting of Consortium of Economic Think Tanks and an SCO business conclave was also hosted by India. Traditional medicine was another subject where an expert group was established upon an Indian initiative, and several events were hosted to promote traditional medicine. India also hosted an exhibition on our shared Buddhist heritage during its 2023 SCO presidency. And 10 classics of Indian regional literature were translated into Russian and Chinese languages. Also during that presidency, the city of Varanasi was designated as the first ever cultural and tourism capital of the SCO during the year 2022-2023. And the city had hosted several socio-cultural events aimed at fostering people-to-people ties. All these initiatives and events have been well received by SCO member states. As you may know, the Secretariat of the SCO is based in Beijing, and Uzbekistan hosts the Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, RATS, in Tashkent. Security cooperation remains one of the important areas of focus for India, and India had chaired the SCO RATS Council during 2021-2022. Earlier this year, in February, the Secretary General of SCO RATS, Mr. Nurlan Yermakbayev, who is a former Minister of Kazakhstan, had visited India and held useful discussions. In May this year, the ICWA had hosted a 20th SEO forum in New Delhi on the theme Secure SEO. In recent months, India has participated at ministerial level, senior level, in several ongoing processes of SEO. This includes the meetings that were where the Indian delegation was led by NSA, Raksha Mantri, and External Affairs Minister in their relevant SEO formats. The program elements for the upcoming 25th SEO Summit in Tianjin include a welcome banquet dinner in the evening of 31st August, and the main summit will be held on the next day, Monday, 1st September. And in addition to this, Prime Minister is expected to hold some bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the SEO Summit. Thank you. I'll stop there.
Floor is open for questions. Okay. Question there, right behind. Dhera, behind you. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Keita Wiki, Japanese news agency DG Press correspondent. Regarding the bilateral meeting, India and Japan. So India and Japan are also member of Quad. So will Prime Minister Modi invite Mr. Ishiba to Quad Summit, which will be held in India later this year? Thank you.
Ayushi?
So this is Ayush Agarwal from ANI. During the China visit, what is the possibility of a bilateral meeting with Russian president on the sidelines? And second, during the meeting with Chinese president, would there be any discussion on US tariffs, as China has recently said that it stands with India and blamed the US, referring it as a bully. So would there be any discussion on the tariffs? Thank you.
So please focus your question on the Japan visit and the visit to Tianjin for SEO. Please, Madhu.
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से मेरा सवाल एसईओ को लेकर है। जैसा कि आपने खुद बताया कि आतंकवाद एक बड़े एजेंडे के तौर पर एसईओ फोरम पे रहा है और पहलगाम आतंकी हमले और उसके बाद ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के ठीक बाद एसईओ की पहली बैठक है जिसमें पाकिस्तान भी मेंबर के तौर पे है। क्या हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि आतंकवाद को लेकर ये फोरम एक बेहतर मैसेज दे पाएगा, जो भारत का स्टैंड है कि टॉक एंड टेरर कैन नॉट गो टुगेदर और आतंकवाद के रहने की स्थिति में किसी भी तरह के संबंध नहीं पाकिस्तान से स्थापित हो सकते हैं, उसको लेकर कोई मैसेज होगा? चूंकि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान चीन ने भी पाकिस्तान को मदद की थी, तो क्या इस बाबत भी कोई बात उस मंच से हमको लगता है कि भारत अपने एजेंडे में शामिल करेगा और क्या ये ज्वाइंट डिक्लेरेशन में हो पाएगा?
Huma?
So I'm Huma Siddiqui from Stat News Global. I have a question related to the visit to Japan. You talked about defense as part of the agenda. So in the defense and security, what is any important announcement expected? And in the space sector, Japan has been participating with ISRO. Is there anything on the agenda about that?
Keshav.
Thank you, sir. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. I have a question regarding the annual summit to Japan. In connection to to the earlier question, are we looking at any sort of outcomes of co-production of defense with Japan? Is that something on the agenda? And with regards to the SCO, if I may also ask, we know that Pakistan will be attending the summit. India is there. We've seen that in the past, during the defense ministers meeting, there was a lack of consensus over terrorism, which is a core goal of the SCO. So how do you expect at the leaders summit for any sort of declaration or joint this thing, what are sort of the red lines that India is thinking of when it comes to terrorism, separatism and extremism that it believes should be part of the document? Could you give us a sense of that? Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a set of questions, so we'd like to address them.
Okay, let me address a few of the questions. I think question from our friend back there on the Quad. You're aware that the Quad is indeed an important platform for working on and promoting peace, stability, prosperity and development in the Indo-Pacific region. In more recent years, its agenda has expanded to take on issues of practical cooperation, if I can call it that, and health security. It covers critical and emerging technologies. There's an initiative with regard to critical minerals that has been discussed recently. Overall, with regard to how to make supply chains more resilient, and also infrastructure development. So these are all issues that are a priority both for India and for Japan. Both our countries attach high value to this forum and to this partnership. And we look forward to working with all Quad partners to take our cooperation forward. I'm sure when the two Prime Ministers meet, the Quad will be a subject that will be discussed between the two of them. Ayushi's question about bilateral meetings, look, as always happens with regard to such events, there will be a number of bilateral meetings that will be organized on the sidelines. We are still working through the finalization of those meetings, and we'll keep you updated and brief you in any case on the proceedings in those meetings. I think ahead of the meetings, it might be a bit forward of me to anticipate and say what will be discussed and will not be discussed in the meetings. Huma, your question, and I think Keshav's question is on the same lines with regard to defense and security related cooperation between India and Japan. This is indeed emerged as an important pillar of cooperation between the two countries in recent years. There was a meeting between the defense ministers of the two countries that was held just recently in May of this year, where the two sides were able to review a whole host of issues, operational engagements between the two sides, but more importantly, defense equipment and technology collaboration, which is an important part of the overall defense and security engagement between the two sides. I think there was some interest in the specific platforms, etc. And you would be aware that the two countries are already working on co-developing the Unified Complex Radio Antenna, the Unicorn project, which is a common radar mast for use by Indian Navy platforms. A memorandum of implementation for this particular project was signed in November 2024. The Navy, the Indian Navy and the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force are also exploring possible cooperation in the area of ship maintenance in India. And there are discussions going on a number of other issues between the designated agencies of the two sides, DRDO in India and ATLA in Japan. And these discussions are regular, and the agenda is constantly being refreshed, and they remain engaged on it. I think there was a reference also to space. So the ISRO and the Japanese Space Agency are working together on something called LUPEX, which is the Lunar Polar Exploration Mission, and this is being pursued in tandem with India's Chandrayaan 5 mission. This is an area of some importance, also because it affords an avenue for Indian space startups to actually deploy their capabilities and their capacities in this important area. I want to take your question.
आपका प्रश्न जो आतंकवाद के बारे में था, जैसा मैंने कहा कि एससीओ जब स्थापित हुआ था तब उसके एक मेन उद्देश्य में था कि कैसे पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी को जो चैलेंज है फ्रॉम टेररिज्म, सेपरेटिज्म और एक्सट्रीमिज्म, उसको कैसे काउंटर किया जाए. एंड दिस चैलेंज रिमेन्स. द security of the region remains a priority for the SCO members. In the past, there have been strong condemnation of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism, in the statements that have been finalized, including the joint statement that I referred to, which was finalized during our presidency of the summit, 23rd summit. जहाँ तक अभी ताल्लुक है of the declaration at this summit, that is under finalization, the text. We are working with other members and partners to see that there should be a reiteration of the strong condemnation of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism. But the text is under finalization.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this press briefing. We shall keep you updated. We are running short of time, so we'll take all the questions. We have press